merchant. I ain't even gotta do it. I know bro Merkel. Bust the phone in through the bag. Got my hand burned. Tune them with a scrub in my head. Dogs ain't tryna feel that belt. They hand over they booty. Dogs ain't tryna feel that belt like they got extra pain. Smoking on that K-Pack. They been extra gas. Whole gang eating good. We getting extra fast. Stab them on my back. I'm tryna get deep up in her spine. I done took another Perkins. I'm too deep up in my mind. Drop the 20 ball. Now I'm steady cheesing all the time. Drop the 20 ball for the shit that's gleaming in my mind. Switch it, hit him, all you heard was he tryna run, leg shot, he say I just hit that door, now she talking about some oh, see me rhyme pad, hollering about some
VVS and on the body is a Tim Tag on the Maybach, full wacky in my Fago, sipping green, bitch, why you say that? Balenciaga, belly back, I got the glick inside the ski jack. I might pull up fresh as Ajax, I might pull up in the T-Rex and say Auntie hit the dope and she start screaming like we just nailed the nigga to the payment. He like put on all designer, got me feeling like 2 trim, 41 boys, I got VVS inside my refrigerator. 50 rounds inside the Michael Drake, shit look like it's in labor. Ain't no stranger on these drills, I'm hopping out and causing danger. Nothing nigga to the payment, nigga that's potential payment.
All you heard was he tryna run, leg shot, he say I just hit that door, now she talking about some oh, see me rhyme pad, hollering about some
I'm 6 feet from the edge and I'm thinking maybe 6 feet is so far down. I'm looking down, now that it's over. reflecting on all of my mistakes. I thought I found the road somewhere in His grace. I cried out, heaven save me, but I'm down to one last breath. And with it, let me say, hold me now. I'm 6 feet from the edge, and I'm thinking maybe 60 ain't so far down. Hold me now. I'm 6 feet from the edge, and I'm thinking maybe 60 ain't so far down. I'm 6 feet from the edge, and I'm thinking.
Home at night. I'm 6 feet from the edge, and I'm thinking that maybe 6 feet ain't so far down. Hold me now. I'm 6 feet from the edge, and I... What's up, Sully? How's it going? What's up, Will? Hell, I don't even think I have Vegas anymore. That. Oh. Good evening from Asia. Good morning from America. That was definitely. How does LAS almost beat OXG but lose to Cruelty? I think they just ran out of gas, probably. Hard playing back to back.
Otra Navidad en la que te pedí. Otra Navidad que no está aquí. Feliz año nuevo, pero no tan feliz.
I'll put up predictions for this first match. Who wins map 1? G2 or Asparagus? Asparagus to SI, question mark? Thoughts on Corey coming back to coach X-Blade? I've known he's coming back for a minute. He scheduled a scrim with us a while ago, actually. Because Julio is rumored to be going to BDS, right? I think that's what I saw. Predictions are up for map 1. I'm not sure on what org they're on or supposed to be on. I just have them down as bleed still, to be honest.
Do I believe in asparagus? I mean, it's not a bad, like, side food. I probably would go more with, like, a broccoli. But it's alright. Or maybe some, like, some green beans.
Pensaba que contigo iba a envejecer en otra vida, en otro mundo por hacer.
I might be streaming until 12 a.m. I hope not.
Y solamente verte en el atardecer.
Well, I think there'll be a break between when this ends, and when NA starts, though, probably. So I'll have a break in between.
But here we go. Hello, good morning. I hope you're doing well on this beautiful Sunday where we have more seeds.
Thanks, Raptor.
Give to you as a gift. Wonderful one for this weekend. Yesterday, we got to talk about EU LCQs for the 2025 Invitational. And well, today we're going to see who makes it. This is a kind of a clear path now with 3 teams left. That's it. You're out of chances. Last chance. So kind of is in the name, right? Asparagus, G2, and Machiko are fighting for that spot. I almost said makers, but that's kind of the old nomenclature as we were hearing yesterday in our interview. But yeah, only one team can make it to SI and make history potentially. We'll be representing EU. That's something to be proud of. For
anyway, we're looking forward to.
With me are always wonderful, passionate friends here in Rainbow Six Esports, Grace and Chamberine, who kick off our Sunday morning. My friends, how are you doing today?
Amazing, stoked. Very excited to see how this Asparagus G2 game goes, to be honest.
Yeah, I'm super excited to be here. Super excited. It's a bit earlier today than yesterday, and I definitely have as much energy.
I mean, look,
Does Bad Bunny have the bangers or what?
I'm old, so I was asleep by 11, ready to go, waking up early in the morning just to get hyped up for our matches, and that's exactly what we got in store for everybody today. And before we kind of get into the now and the near future, I want to talk about the past. And the past being Hooked, one of the squads that is playing today, G2 Esports. Of course, not qualified to this particular invitational just yet, but no one has ever won more than G2 Esports.
My favorite genre of music.
Recently still up to SI24, performing excellently, being, if I'm mistaken, the top 4 teams at the Invitational.
Probably rap, but I don't know.
Where were you when G2 won SI? And maybe
I've probably listened to country the most.
That is a very good way.
Because I probably listened to, I think Morgan Wallen's probably my number 1 played artist.
Let's start with you. Where were you?
But he's kind of like
over those wins.
He's like a thin line between country and pop. He's kind of like
very vividly
a little bit of a mixture.
I did unfortunately
so maybe
make
like
it to Brazil
that kind of like country pop.
Then, but at least when they won SI,
Joe, thank you for the 15 months, dude.
Appreciate it. Live win, and I remember looking at Doki's face as he won, and it really made my heart explode. To be honest, with joy. I think there is no. There's no, it sounds maybe a bit far-fetched to say, but there's no siege without G2. You know, I used to, back in the day, even as early as like 2018, used to put on a lot of watch parties, renting out a cinema to actually put on watch parties to watch SI. And I really do think that G2 as a team, as an org especially, they are a org that is a big part of the Siege community and a big part of my heart and my joy and my experiences within Siege.
And I think that applies for everybody out there, whether you love them or love to hate them. That's kind of it's an immovable object. The amount of the impact that this organization, these players have had on Siege Esports. But Cham, what has been your experience? Tell me what really hooked you in to this esport, and where were you when G2 won last?
When G2 won last, I was just in a Discord with all my friends. To be honest, I think that's that simple. I wasn't at any fancy watch parties.
That's on NFL games today.
Discord,
Who's
late
playing?
night Discord hours, just sitting watching G2, sitting watching Siege.
Buffalo.
I watch so much Siege now; it's a joke actually. How much time I actually spend watching this game.
Buffalo,
I wasn't present for
Philadelphia.
the thing before that, my first SI that I actually experienced was SI 20.
The Washington game, I'm not sure.
Fully watched. I only just got into it, and this is why I'm a BDS fan, is because they were the first team I actually watched.
I don't know what the injury situation is for that
picked it up
Tampa
one day,
game.
Like, actually, I'm getting more serious.
Would maybe say Washington for that one, but it is a rookie quarterback.
The esport, and I picked it up in BDS.
Although he's a
for the
beast.
team that was playing, I was like, cool. Guess I'm a fan of them. And then they got qualified for SI 2020, and then from then on, I've just been kind of watching along. And yeah,
was BDS your hook? That was it. That's what
BDS were my hook. BDS were my hook. Yes, I know they're not here today, but I am getting a bit more attached to this G2 roster, and I think that is just because I've personally met Doki. I met him last year in Malta. He hit me with the traditional Scottish saying, which he shouted across the hall from me. He just went, "Where are you, Faye?" And that was it. That was the first thing he said to me. So I'm getting a bit more attached to this and this roster, and yeah, like Grace said, it was great to see his face when they won it.
It's the personalities.
Who do you think wins today?
100%. Like, I agree with the Doki point entirely, because even back in the days of ESL Prem, right, Doki was a player there, and seeing him as a person kind of progress, and then again go into this wonder roster of G2, of that org that is Siege, in my opinion, you know, that is just a match made in heaven. And I think the proof is in the pudding with how things have been in the last few years.
Absolutely, absolutely. And you know, I was there watching all of their wins in person. I was even there when they won as Penta. You can see me in one of the in one of the videos jumping in the background, where Intero had turned around and looked at me in a really weird way because he thought that I was gonna break down that entire elevator platform that we were on. So he was a bit more afraid for his life in that case. But yeah, you know, you go back to it. There's nothing like being at a Siege event, genuinely, and I know. You know, many people here that are watching.
I think Philly will win that. You know, although I did see some, like, I saw some video where Green Bay has stats that line up with like a lot of Super Bowl champions, so
enjoy my time with.
They might be one to watch in terms of that, but
for quite a while, it's
rookie quarterbacks usually don't do that well in the playoffs, which is why I worry about Washington.
When you get to go to an event and experience it yourself in something else, and I hope Siege will come to the entire world. And we have been actually all over the world, but even more so in the near future. However, we've reminisced enough. I know I can also go off on tangents myself. So this is more for me to just
I feel
hold
like
myself
my heart
back.
is like beaming now, though. Now that you've brought all this stuff up, I literally feel it like in my chest. I'm like, oh my goodness.
This is what you feel when you go to an event, because you go in the rotunda and you see the cosplayers and you see the artists and the people that actually work on this game that are always present. They're talking to people and everybody's having fun, and you just see the players and they're taking pictures.
The
sesh
like, as well.
Yeah, you're like, you know what? This is it. This is my cozy place, and I love that.
Yeah.
And that's why we're here. That's what keeps us.
The medic,
all coming
indeed,
back.
Emerson.
You know, despite
Milos, the
any ups
medic.
and downs that we might have or the game might have, we're still here. Despite it.
For those of you that follow
We need to have
football,
a chat
is
about
Matthew
these two
Stafford a
squads
Hall of
because-
Famer?
Yes.
Well, there's people that will support them no matter their ups and downs in general, but
Hey,
we
Bo.
have to talk about them at least in as much of a serious matter as possible. G2 Esports, yes, we're talking them up. Yes, they've won SI before, but that's not the same roster, and also they're not at SI just yet. They'll need to win the next 2 games today, or two matches today, pretty much back-to-back with only a little break in between to launch yet another game, and they're going to have to perform. So, Cham, you're talking about kind of loving this team now. What keeps you coming back for G2?
Well, originally, of course, there's the bias with the fact that Doki's the only other Scottish person, so that's nice. But for now, I'm starting to get attached to the likes of Loira, Laz coming in. Loira right now is fastly becoming one of my favourite players, and I was really enjoying what they were putting out last week, and to see them shine yesterday, you can see just from the statistics alone, if we're just going to go on KD, I know it's the kind of the most obvious one, but 27 and 14, MVP yesterday in that series. I think probably MVP for the day. I think, we'll touch on Asparagus later, but we'll kind of discuss and compare that. But for me, I think Laura was my standout yesterday, and I think that's why I'm getting a bit more attached to it. I think it's the young gunner coming in and actually, you know, stepping up and I guess outshining some of the people that have been here for a while.
All right, the question is now, Grace, will this dynasty continue? Because I mean, it's not the same anymore, right? It's not the dynasty. It's fallen off. It's something else now. It's a Brazilian dynasty. It's your Furia, your W7Ms. But still, even at SI24 last year, G2 were in that top 4. We got 2 Brazilian squads, 2 European squads in G2 and Virtus Pro. They're impressive throughout. Although personally, I believe Wolves are the best team in the entire world because they actually beat the previous W7M, now Furia. Whatever, they beat everybody that was there. Copium aside, G2, what can they do to kind of uplift themselves and lean on that previous experience to make the W?
I mean, realistically, I think going into this, it's one that they may feel confident being like
Tambourine, all-timer haircut.
What would be considered a T2 team.
He's kind of got like a rock star haircut, but like a punk rock. But then he's also kind of rocking like a country mullet. Like I'm not. Is he expected? Because when it comes to a roster like, is he more like punk or is he like Morgan Wallen mullet?
He said yesterday, you can't predict what they're gonna do. When that happens, you basically have to really rely on those mid-round shot calls. You have to rely on, okay, they're doing X, Y, Z, we're going to do A, B, C.
Yeah, you can't over-prepare against a team like this. You have to be more confident in yourself. And that's it was good to hear it from Doki himself yesterday, just because it kind of solidifies.
Yeah, that's the Morgan Wallen mullet cut right there.
It in the server itself. However, what happens with Asparagus on the other side? Some would say unexpected. Others would say, well, they're great players. They're eventually going to make it this deep. And, well, they're absolutely here. Rexen yesterday was an incredible player to witness, Cham. But, I mean, this squad, they have what it takes. As surprising of me to say.
Honestly, I could talk so much about Rexen at this moment in time, but I think I'm actually going to give this one to
the man so nicely named him twice.
Vibrating with excitement just to talk about Rexen. She absolutely loves him.
The Lysan Al-Gib. I honestly, I love Rexen so much as a player.
The exclusive chat. Kind of. It's the people who don't have can't sub on Twitch chat.
For that extra T1 experience, that extra kind of heavy hitter to try and get it over the edge just for such an important and big event, right? But Rexen, you know, let's not be around bush here. 2023, the quality had kind of fallen off a bit at T2, and I was very worried for the progression of a lot of players. And I thought at the time the prophecy was foretold, guys. It was foretold that eventually we would have a T2 player shine through the light again. We'd have so much expectation of them, and for me, that is Rexen. They have put on such a phenomenal performance in the last 6 months. It's something I want to see continue, and I really do think the sky is the limit for Rexen. Can he do it today, though, especially against the likes of G2? That is going to be a really nice, to be fair, that's going to be a really nice scale point for us to look at, seeing how they actually perform against the likes of G2, because I really think that that'll be a nice
talking about Slash?
data for them to have, even if they do lose right now.
Yeah, it's you go in, if you lose, fair enough, you still have another shot and you're still in the upper bracket. And you know, regardless, you got to experience the real deal, an actual incredibly important game against.
What do I think of the UK Rexen? Who's better, UK Rexen or NA Rexen?
Practice you're ever gonna get. So let's take a look at our map bans or picks also in this case. These are all best of 3 series that we'll be going through today, just like we did yesterday. 3 best of 3s. Clubhouse will be first out as G2 has gone in for the ban. Nighthaven and Lair both banned out. I'm very sorry to say. However,
Cafe,
Skyscraper and Cafe are in. Cham, can you walk us in through this, please?
Certainly can.
Border.
G2 are serious. That's what I'm going to say. There's no hiding strats here. They are just like, yep, let's just play the maps that we think that we are going to win on. There's no hiding strats. There's no nothing.
Hiding strats. Who are they hiding strats from?
They haven't played it a lot. They've only played it 3 times. They've won it 3 times, so they'll be feeling comfortable on that. not ideal, I think, for Asparagus. I think, yes, they get the comfort pick of their cafe. Yesterday, they were absolutely excellent on it. 7-1 yesterday. They almost didn't put a foot wrong versus ITB, so I wasn't surprised to see them get to pick that. But I don't think G2 will be too bothered by that. Going on to Border as well as the third, the Decider, I still think that favours probably G2. They're the Gunners. They'll be feeling that a bit more. But I don't know, it's up in the air a little bit. G2, they're definitely serious, and I think that this ban face slightly favours them.
And speaking of up in the air, as you say, Skyscraper is our first one, very high up. The question is, what will G2 be bringing to this one? As I assume they'll be starting on the attacking side from seeing the graphic here. Yeah, it's not the easiest.
Oh, they're getting right into this shit. Get your prediction, and they're already starting.
Cozy, maybe that's the way.
That's what I like to see.
Anyways, with our game started, Cham Grace, please, friends, take it away.
Ending predictions once the game starts.
A wonderful Sunday morning.
I mean, once the
afternoon,
after the first round.
Slightly ahead of me. Here we go though. G2 Esports starting on Skyscraper. It is their pick. Grace, how are you feeling on this fine Sunday?
I'm actually.
I did see that.
You said earlier that I've
we've
in my chair, and I pretty much feel like
he messaged me
right
for scrims a while ago, so I knew that.
Like, I really think this is a win-win situation, really, for both sides. I think it's a kind of matchup which will give you a lot to work off data-wise. The Buck ban from G2 is quite interesting. Yeah. Themselves being like Buck off in the chat, a bit spicy, but I think that's quite an unusual.
Mira
one, really.
ban on
Again,
Sky seems like a waste. No, who the fuck cares about Mira on Skyscraper?
Above and below. Remember, Buck is also very useful if you do want to use vertical pressure from below as well. But I'm wondering if they're reading into something there, because again, Cafe, something about Asparagus are relatively, not Cafe, sorry, Sky, it's something that they're relatively not that good at. You know, they played it once as this roster. It didn't really go as well for them. Maybe that's more G2 trying to leave open the Blackbeard, for example, and other shield operators.
Do you think Mike W will get trials after his performance yesterday?
In play. The Vigil ban as well.
No, but I think he could potentially just qualify.
I want to highlight a point, right? Jay has been absolutely unhinged this winter. Like, I'm not going to beat around the bush about that one. Some of the plays Jay has done
YouTube chat is just like drunk.
insane.
What the fuck are you guys
kind
talking
of moments
about?
where, again, it's expect the unexpected, because he will just pop up out of nowhere and do the most ridiculous things. It's something that G2 themselves are probably aware of. They're going
his team's out of Mike W's team is out of SI quals, but he could still qualify for Pro League next year.
Doing this to me, G2, man. I'm
That's
excited
unrelated.
about the Boss G getting in the hands of someone on G2 roster. I have so many notes about this Boss G, and I've not been able to see it once. It's really letting me down, but it's okay. It's all good. I'm sure that they have something planned, because it's very pointed bans coming up from them that you've just pointed out. Very utility heavy set from the defense here of Asparagus.
What the fuck?
Sent right over the top.
What?
What?
Somebody clip that.
From Packbull. Put that one in your TikToks, because that is absolutely perfection.
What?
And again, when you get that kind of opening pick, it can't be traded back because it was on the external, and you just pull it back.
I don't think there are drops, Jeff. That's old.
On a run out as well. This is exactly what I'm talking about. Absolute shenanigans from Asparagus. I don't think G2 are going to be too flustered right now, because they probably didn't expect these.
Can I clip my own stream, dude? Did anybody clip it? What the fuck was that C4? Did anybody clip it? What the fuck was that C4?
Action from the get-go. J falls or finds one onto Blad even. Versus 2. Popping a window. There's ready for it. Okay. Leaving it the round. Now it's all up to Uno. Try and work something from what is a very aggressive start here from Asparagus. They're definitely not shy. Definitely not holding back. I'm gonna get right in the face of G2. I guess the silver lining for this round so far is
that was a crazy C4. What the fuck?
The defending side, but it won't matter. First flawless of the day. Asparagus starting very aggressive.
And I absolutely love that, but again, I don't think it's something to be too surprised about. Asparagus, they want to get that upper edge nice and early. They want to start rustling the jimmies of G2. They want to be able to be like, okay, if we go fast and heavy, we go for these runouts, we go for these external C4s, it caught G2 off guard. G2 themselves are not going to be too bothered about that. Like, I don't think they're going to be like, oh my god, as if we started on a flawless loss and, you know,
can I show the clip?
They're going to be like, okay, yeah, we expected that. We expected that it was going to be absolute monkey business. We expected them swinging out windows, swinging out doorways. For G2, realistically, it's just going to be about being prepared for that going forward.
What?
Giving a few seconds, giving a few moments, being aware of these runouts, and expecting them, maybe catching a few of these players off guard as well.
What the fuck?
Office now. Slightly different site, of course. We'll see if they continue on that trend of jumping out.
I didn't even see how the other guy died. Did somebody else jump out?
I do think that is one of the best ways to try and counter them.
Oh yeah, he jumped out.
Because a lot of people expect them to lie back, and teams can sit off, get a little bit too shy, and they don't really want to take a gunfight versus G2 just with that name, but they're definitely showing up so far.
These Europeans got that damn tech. You see that? You see that tech they got? I ain't never seen that C4 in America. That's not American C4. That's European right there.
Hungry with a little bit of an extension over towards Geisha for now. There's a couple of drones at their feet, so they are aware of that positioning for G2, just making the decisions of which way we want to approach this. Jay is downstairs at the bottom of Black staircase, supporting Hungry. Head towards the drum site.
Here's the thing, you can go for a full extension when it comes to this map, but
Wild with that roster. Well, it's not the same exact team, but I know what you're saying, yeah. I remember that match.
It's usually this idea of, okay, they're going to have to try and find me, they're going to have to try and force something here. However, G2, again, most likely, they'll react pretty quickly to any information that they gain. We do, of course, have the
I gotta show that C4 to Troy. That might be, that we might start throwing that C4 off rip. You spawn on that side, you ain't getting out alive, buddy.
Lots of aggression that they themselves can bring, to be honest. I'm surprised we haven't quite seen that from them yet, but again, they just want to go for the motions. They just don't want to give too much free space right now to Asparagus.
Yeah, just trying to make them uncomfortable with some of this vertically. You've got the nades coming through that window as well. Trying to do a little bit of work to get this wall open, but Kubaral and Cade combination will keep it closed from the halfway point of the round, so you're still not able to get that opened up. Use it as a point of pressure. Will likely be opened up in the next few seconds. For now though, relatively comfortable for Asparagus. I imagine that 1, 2, 3 calls will soon come through. G2 still just making those decisions. Rexon's the most extended for now, over towards the Dragon area. No one playing into this. Not as an aggressive start as we've seen in the last round here, Grace, was it?
Armal's trying to push from below as well. Loira will be dealt with though. Equal pick there for Jay. It's not being traded just yet, Beauchamp.
Certainly is not. Vertical angle as well will be held. Found off of it.
Is anybody else scared right now? Is G2 gonna lose to a team called Asparagus?
No, G2 will have to make
or are we defensive
Sky?
Sky?
From the death mark drone, it will find that it's marked on Hungry, who is feeling a little bit of pressure, given that their position has been given away. Dai will find another one as it flies to fall, and from behind the Jays found Alamo, and it's just
so I think Tub is still broken.
G2, Asparagus looking
I don't know that I ever thought it was broken. I think Tub is an operator to me that is good when you can bring other ops with it.
Again, I really think for the
like when you can bring Cade. I think Cade especially. I think it's good.
That there wasn't any
I don't think it's that good if you can't bring Cade.
From G2, they were like, okay, let's just fall back and wait for them to come to us. Very good denial as well. Just constantly keeping the pressure against G2. Everything they were doing, they were like, no, we're here, we're present. I think it's really interesting to see how Team Cut Asparagus have been playing this weekend. There have been a few moments where they can be, I'm not going to say trolling themselves, but like there are moments where they maybe aren't performing to the level that they could potentially create. So I do think when you look at that roster, again, especially when you're putting someone like Packball in, it's kind of like you don't want to huff the copium and be like, oh, they could actually potentially do this. They've already caused one upset this weekend, Chad.
Yeah, they have. And yeah, I said comfortable there in that last round, and it did look comfortable because throughout that G2 just didn't really look like they had made a decision really what they wanted to do with it, and really where they wanted to actually execute up. Kind of interesting actually. I think it's surprising me a little bit as the start of this map. But first couple rounds of the day, I'm not going to be negative. I think that, you know, Asparagus are finding a good foothold in this round. Jay with a pre-set-up C4, surely not again. Almal's on the other side, so they'll be safe from this for now. Almal's went around the long way, so we'll not be removed from the round early.
Asparagus prep for their matches by watching Coconut, bro.
Someone floating around that opposite side is, of course, Jay that is over there on the Cat of all people. Lots of doors, lots of places that you can catch pieces on these EDVs, Grace. So we have to be very careful.
Absolutely, and again, Jay as a player, he likes to play a little bit ratty. He likes to kind of lurk in the shadows. When you least expect it, he'll pop up out of nowhere and get aggro. Maybe a few little flank-maroonies incoming. Again, given the size of Skyscraper, it can be a little bit risky, but time it well. We'll see how he does with that bow.
Bomb located by attackers.
How do you two? They're just trying to get a bit of info, trying to get a little bit of utility swinging in their direction for them to react off. Again, they're not being too gung-ho about things. They're really taking their time and being patient.
Yeah, doing the due diligence now.
This is the site that G2 want to win, though. This map's so defender-sided. Even if you can just win the off-sites, you're okay usually. If you can just win barbecue twice. But if they lose this one, they're in a little bit of trouble.
More E1Ds come through, more flashbangs, more pressure, and Alamal will at least break something. It's going to be a big collapse here for G2. They just wipe the floor with Asparagus and leave Hungry with it all to do in a 1 versus 5.
Looking a lot better from G2 right now. Hungry potentially just looking to deny the floor, but G2, of course, they're trying to hunt him down. Don't want to allow any opportunity for him to deny. Glory getting that final pick. Finding G2 getting around on the table, Sham.
Yep.
Just taking their time with it. Patience is a virtue, as the saying goes.
Certainly is. Certainly is, yeah. Took a little while to kind of get the foothold in the actual map, as well as that round. Took a little bit of time to kind of actually remove the player inside the geisha, but eventually they just made the call and pushed and got aggressive and they just won their ones, what we expect from G2. And that was it. It was a very quick collapse, very quick turn on, ignition for them to win that one. And that's what expected from G2. That's what expected. They changed the pace, they get in the face of Asparagus, and they win that round. So back up to the top floor we go.
All right, back to this. So they want to win T and they want to win Office again, obviously. And then if they could steal that last barbecue, they'd be 5-1. But Sky probably the most defender-sided map. Sky or Consulate.
Shame on you, fool me twice, shame on me. I really think G2, they're prepared at this point for the way that Asparagus are playing. That from the get-go has been very evident. I think, again, they knew going into this it was going to be shenanigans, window shenanigans, doorway shenanigans, C4 shenanigans. Realistically, for G2, they're just again playing through this idea of, okay, we can work out where people are based on where they are not.
Yeah, Lab's pretty defender-sided too.
What they can ideally try and do, if they are droned out, they have to move immediately, or they have to.
I think they should go back to 7 maps. I think it's better at 7 maps for their quality, but I doubt they'll do that.
Shab. I mean, again, Asparagus. I don't want to act like they're not gunners in their own right as well. We've seen them do incredible things. Sometimes Jay has problems translating to officials, but he's doing a very good job of it today.
The case. Ooh, Jay thought about it. Thought about going out that window, but the zero cam gives away their position, so it's just thought better. I'll pull back for a sec.
Play down bolt.
Positions to the other side. Rexon in a very comfortable area behind this Azam barricade.
Oregon back.
Waiting for someone to hop in.
I was an Oregon fan, but
that is yet to be opened up. It looks as though G2 now will start to make work of that. Approaching the minute in mark, and pretty good timing for them to get that geisha pressure begun and started. A couple of pre-fires through the wall. They're kind of maybe suggesting that they know there's a player inside of Dragon. The death mark currently out on, not the death mark even, information, the bees should I say, are actually out on Hackville. That will make it a bit uncomfortable for him.
Getting a bit scrappy now. Uno taken out back full. Boy will fall to the hands of Hungry. The spray there. Jay actually falls. Doki with a pistol whip to the face.
Another good attack.
As well to follow things up. Hungry now left in 1 versus 3. Tiniest bit of HP. Can he try and deny this part? I don't think he's going to have the angle really, Sham. There we go. It's supposed to be for him to try and clutch out. This looks very, very good for G2 right now. They need to hold on to these angles.
I think we're kind of in the same position now where
popping up behind this little half wall.
Now it's on Asparagus to win these next 2 rounds. Now they want the 4-2 half, and if they don't get a 4-2,
utility by having the zero. Yes, they didn't end up using it, but
it's looking like G2's map.
You send out those zero cams, and it allows you to get a little bit of an idea of what's happening in that site as well. So if they do start to defuse, you can react to it. You don't have to show your bodies as much. So Love that G2 are bringing a lot more utility when it comes to these approaches. They're bringing a lot of kit in their pockets to get every single outcome they possibly could under their belt.
Yes, they are indeed. You do love a little bit of utility. I know that you highlight that
Absolutely,
quite
yeah.
often. You know, it's like a controversial take to say that I didn't actually enjoy the utility meta, and that is maybe just because I could hide behind the fact I can't shoot straight. And yeah guys, I'll get the ADSs. I'll burn the ADSs, of course. I'll do that. So yeah, G2 playing into that, bringing Pro into utility, but bringing quite a spread of operators as well, actually. They're showing that they're quite willing to change on 2 different operators on this attack and be really fluid with it. You see just now that they are...
Chiefs beat GG again. Did GG suck now?
The Blackbeard, which
Oda was the key all along.
At this point, I think we're going to
Titan destroyed
GG. I don't think that we're going to be able to do it.
It's just such a good bit of kit. Like, it's insane. Like, the rework has been insane shenanigans. It's one of those things we were like, okay, this is a very, very
I don't know if that's how it
strong,
works, Troy,
strong
but
operator. It's got a shield. A lot of people kind of expected, I don't know what people expected actually from the rework itself, but when it was announced, I was like, oh my goodness, okay, so we're going a bit of shield work with the MK17. It's this whole idea of, okay, how much more ferocity do we want from a shield up? I always feel Blitz was like a very aggressive shield, and now we have the Blackbeard as well, so we are going to see him so much all the time. Most maps we will see a Blackbeard at the moment.
Ooh, very lovely work there. The thermite charge going on the ground. Just make sure they can open that drum wall up. It was electrified, so that'll get around it. See how that actually open up. Hungry will find the first kill of this round, and Loira will just hop in and find a double again. I absolutely love that he just keeps doing it. Just keeps hopping in somewhere, finding a gap and getting himself a double. Blaz will find another.
G2 Masterclass on Sky.
The defuse is going down. It is there. Can Urlisan, Al-Gaib come up with the goods with 30 seconds to work with? They won't be able to do anything. Doki on the Blackbeard will finish the round, and G2 take the lead for the first time in this series.
And that's a really important point, actually. They're taking the lead now, and they're on the attack on Skyscraper. Skyscraper, typically, in terms of statistics, tends to be very defender-sided due to the side of it. Whenever
Looking good for them so far.
Map,
3 attacks on Sky. They probably already won this map.
Really work against the attack. Of course, yes, there are standard
There's
approaches.
running on the site won't work against actual.
It's not as easy when it comes to the potential of. Okay,
when we played them at the last major, basically all they, in my opinion,
over your shoulder,
pretty much all they can do is kind of like lit kitty style attacks. They can't attack like defaulty.
One of the best teams in the world.
So if you just don't let them do this shit where they're like cheesing their way into sight. And the unexpected stuff.
So they can go into that defensive
they don't really
arc,
know how to play any
very,
differently.
Very happy indeed. Only time will tell.
More and more operators seem to be coming through the roster for G2 today. Bravo making appearance on potentially Striker. Though on the defense, Cross coming along, Daya, Fenrir, Legion, Malusi. It's giving, we need to slow them down. We need to stop these guys from getting in the building, getting in these doorways. We need to do something because the guns are not quite firing. We can't quite stop them. We need something to slow this attack down. I'm not opposed to it myself. I think that is a sensible option, I think, Grace.
Yeah, I think right now for Asparagus, I think what would really benefit them is maybe playing around the trade a little bit more. It is difficult though, again, large map, you have to spread yourself out just so you get that information, that initial point of contact more effectively, I'll say.
Yeah. For sure. Rixon, first one out for Asparagus, decides to come back to Drum just so they can get across with Pack Bull. Wait for this Geisha pressure. Again, this is a very big pressure point and power position, I guess, if you want to call it, for the site. An area that you really want to try and clear out and get control of, which should dictate which side you can actually come from. By getting potentially just a little bit bored, potentially, just waiting for something to happen at the top of that black staircase. G2 really taking their time, and I think I'm going to have to commend them because I think this is the slowest I've seen G2 play in a while.
The beauty of playing slowly and just relying on that utility first, again, it allows you to use these clutch drones. This allows you to get a lot of utility under your belt nice and quickly. It also allows you to get those house cams if you want them. And think about how much information that can gain you from the get-go without you even getting in the building and having to be...
What the fuck is that guy
some
doing?
firing lines. Speaking of which, Loira getting stuck in now. Day is going to fall.
Yep, they're just lulled into a false sense of security for a sec. There's not much happening, and Loira pounces at the back. Doki will be meleeed, or will melee G right in the face. And the death marks will come out and form up a last. Pat will feeling the pressure inside of Geisha.
No, I haven't, Troy, but
dance
it
around,
surprised
move away,
me.
try not to fall, try to hold on to Geisha as long as they can. Hungry finds one elsewhere, it's Glaz, but Loira from behind will find Packbill, and they finally have control of Geisha that they were looking for. Quite a lot of shots peppered in towards Loira, holding this position and way up. Pokeball.
These guys are kind of getting shit on.
And a 1 versus 3 will find 1 and 2 right immediately.
4 attacks on Sky is pretty strong.
They're looking very comfortable now here on Skyscraper.
The pressure from below, and again trying to just dislodge Packable from Geisha. Packable can't really do anything about the incoming presence that is Loira. Again, Loira has been phenomenal this weekend. Let's not get that twisted at all. Loira has been absolutely on fire himself, and I think these are kind of plays by G2 where they're like, okay, it's kind of like this moment where they have this penny drop and they just go for the jugular all together as a team. Very well timed. To split on the attack on Skyscraper. This is looking very, very tasty indeed for G2 right now. Can they secure these final 2 or 3 rounds? Take the map to Cafe. Interesting thing, of course, it is their map pick. We do expect the teams who pick the map to win out their map pick. But I think realistically, this was a very good choice from G2 in the get-go. It is a map that realistically, again, Asparagus, they don't really have a good time on it. They've only shown it once and they lost that. G2 themselves, they feel a lot more confident on it. They've played it 3 times and they've won it 3 times. So it's definitely a map that they have a nicer time with. We're not too surprised by this result right now.
Yeah, Gladiator is probably my favorite film.
Definitely not surprised at all. The 3 games that they played.
The original, not the new one.
7-3, 7-4.
The new one's like very mid.
Not too surprised to see us in this current situation. I guess the only surprise really is that they managed to really well deal with that initial aggression from Asparagus. They've struggled to get that back, struggled to really deal with it. It seems as though G2 are feeling like, yep, alright, we see you, alright, let's get back into the action here. Don't need the timeout for it, don't need anything for it. We'll just let you have them 2 rounds and then we'll just hit you with the 4 right back and finish off the half. Defense here now is where we are. A couple of claimers getting set up on the windows, making sure that if there is any jump outs from G2, we know they love to do them. They will be punished. So keep tabs on those claimers. But for now, you've got Loira thinking about going in and out and trying to maybe get in the face of some of these attackers that are trying to open up that wall in office.
They've really prepared those black eyes to essentially be below the site, right? It's underneath.
What was the premise of Gladiator 2?
I think they themselves maybe.
I mean, I'm not going to spoil it, but
for a pocket strap there. You know, there's a lot of
pretty much the same as Gladiator 1 for most of it. Like the storyline's essentially the same as Gladiator 1, just in a different way.
You can expect Asparagus as a team to have the pocket strap, but they are actually being very, very sensible about things. They've got the Dokkaebi, they've got the Deimos, and they've got the Grim. A lot of information utility, and it's kind of information utility that allows you to play aggressively around it.
I would say,
Let's see how they do with it though, Sham.
Denzel Washington's part, like he's pretty good in the movie, but even his part is like pretty ridiculous.
Inside of Geisha now managed to move back for now. Laz just lingers still inside the T, waiting for this pressure to come through. You know, retakes that position inside of Geisha. Not quite been able to get a foothold in the map yet. Asparagus kind of rethinking the strategy. Do they want to play in it? Do they want to be a bit more?
We'll make more money in Gladiator 1. I don't know. I never. I didn't see how it was doing at the box office.
Loira opens up the scoreboard with their opening pick onto Daya. Doki finds another. That's 2 very quick kills to fall from Asparagus' side.
Yeah, I didn't really understand why, like,
swinging out of places. It's Loira again.
Denzel's character arc didn't really make sense towards the end. I agree.
Loira with a 1 tap, remove Packbill's head.
But his like acting, I guess, was good.
Crisp, clean, and
girl,
clear right now from G2. Again, not really reinventing the wheel there, just waiting for that approach from Asparagus. They had so much information that they could work off. And again, it's this idea of G2. If they see where you're not, they can work out where you actually are. And that was very crystal clear in that round. Rightfully so, Asparagus are going to call a timeout. I think that's maybe come a little bit too late, but we'll see if they can convert it into a round win. Right now, again, it's not like they are doing anything wrong. I think Asparagus have the right idea of being like, okay, we'll go a bit more default. I mean, what is nowadays considered
I don't really
default.
think it's
We'll
too
take
late. It's just that they kind of
point. We'll take a lot of
to me, if you lose like 3 attacks like that or 4 attacks, you kind of lose this map unless you're just
G2. They're prepared for
unless you are unrealistically good on attack on this map. Losing 4 attacks on Sky, especially when it's not even your map pick, it's pretty tough. Because this is a very defender-sided map, obviously. I think anyone who follows Siege knows that.
Not kind of fall into the vibe they usually do, Sham. They are a team who do some very spicy pocket strats at times, and it's something I'd want to see them maybe go for here.
I guess potentially the map. Not played it that much, not shown it that much. Maybe not expecting GT to pick onto it. I wouldn't have expected them to pick onto a map that, yeah, they themselves haven't played that much. I thought they would go for something a bit more default, a bit more kind of standard. No, Skyscraper, they're just like, yeah, we'll pull it out. Don't mind playing something different.
I think it's the idea of, okay, Asparagus in this, you know, this reiteration of this roster, they've just added Packable in. Maybe they haven't been able to plan too much with Sky. We've seen they lose it once. We don't want to take them to Clubhouse again. G2, the first ban they did was Clubhouse. They're like, absolutely not. Like, Asparagus, that's a really good map for them. Yes, it can be default, and a lot of people would potentially argue that would be a good playing field for these two because of how even Stevens it can be, but why would G2 risk that? They were like, no, we're going to take you somewhere where we know you've lost and we feel okay and comfortable with it.
Yeah, exactly. I think I was just holding out hope I get to see Alamal and Rook again on Club. He was an absolute demon last week on that. It was terrifying. And speaking of demons, Loira, 9-4 for now. We highlighted them before. MVP pretty much yesterday. What a performance they're putting in so far on the map of Skyscraper.
Day of the Jackal? No, I haven't watched that yet, actually.
For most of this weekend, which is hanging out next to a door, waiting for someone to wander past and swing out and demolish them. Imagine that someone will be in a gunfight with him shortly. Uno as well in a little bit of a sneaky position, waiting potentially to wander out that doorway and catch the player that is outside. Alamal just patiently waiting as well downstairs. A little bit of a lurk as well, a little bit of a linger. Rex takes a bit of damage upstairs. Geisha is now a point of contention here as Doki goes right through and almost starts off with the opening pick but just can't quite land the shots. Bit of an awkward rotate to kind of wander through. Blaz now coming round from the back end. They're not quite aware of Blaz's positioning. A couple of kills that fall elsewhere as well.
What's up, Cooper? How's it going?
I guess this is the first time they've had the man advantage in quite some time. Has to be very careful here. Blaz now going to be isolated.
All right, winnable round here for Asparagus off the timeout.
Rexon waiting for a very long time for that repeat to happen. Ooh, that's unfortunate.
I thought Blaz. Wait.
Can take him out.
How did Blaz team kill? What?
That's unfortunate stuff indeed.
What?
That is a massive mistake right now for G2 to have.
How the fuck did he team kill right there?
Not the most ideal position to be in. Especially with this much time remaining. Asparagus have all the time, all the space in the world to set up what they want. It does look like they're trying to go for some cheeky final picks though. Jay didn't really need to push that, but he went for it, and I respect that, to be honest, Sham.
Yeah, exactly. I respect it. Just get in their face.
I have no idea how he killed Laura there.
Is there to finish for Asparagus, who collect another round and finally break the wave of G2. They finally get another round up on the scoreboard, breaking that 5-round-in-a-row streak from G2. So they're still here. They're still existing on Skyscraper. They're not out of the running just yet. Although G2 are looking.
Oh yeah, I want to fix this. I gotta change this back because it'll tilt me. Hold on.
It was somewhat gifted by the accidental team kill. And again, I forgot it. Again, I sound like I am being his #1 fangirl, but the fact that Rexon had the patience to be like, I'm just going to stay in terrace.
We're back to blocking
and
chat.
Wait for you to repeat me.
Attackers have discovered the location of a bomb.
The confidence there, again, not willing to kind of push to the doorway. It's a bit of a silly thing to do. It's like, no, I'll just wait for you to push me. I'll wait for you to push me. Blaz eventually did go back and attempt it, take it at his teammate in the process.
It happens to the
And that put
best.
Asparagus in a really good. It does happen to the best of us, but I think that's one of those moments where you know that there's a little bit of that whap happening in the team speak.
Yeah, how to counter Loira? Just make sure someone team kills them. That's basically how you do it. Like,
I mean, true.
yeah, let G2 kill Loira. Like it's fine.
Now though, the Scopos coming out, I do like to see that. I was wondering if we'd see a bit more Scopos action, to be honest, when it comes to Skyscraper. Again, given the size of the map, having a bit more flexibility around your movement certainly can be a benefit, especially with Pantheon Shield, right? You can just shove one on site, you can shove one off site. Ooh, attempt at a C4 from the get-go. Doesn't land though. I respect it, I respect it.
Oh yes.
Hair of the dog that bit you.
Yeah, Packville ready for that one though. Packville, the TikTok master. He knows all of those neat little tricks, hopping out windows and tossing out C4s. He goes around the long way and avoids losing their life early on. Though. Getting back into this round, though, the Scopos of Balaz on the top floor, of course, can get back to site, depending where they put that Pantheon shell down. They, of course, have a lot of an extension from Alimal, just right now in pantry, waiting for someone wandering into that double door. Imagine the due diligence will be done here from Asparagus to make sure they don't just send it in there.
Why are they going to these weird sites? They're not playing T, they're playing
a lot of ringing out, a lot of shotguns
House.
So they're trying to redecorate this map a little bit so they can make it a bit more comfortable to work with your G2.
They're very good at doing this. They open up so much just to give them more opportunities to be aggressive, to be bolshy.
Thought I heard.
Is what they do best.
Oh,
Is
good.
how
I missed
their
something.
energy gets flowing to their advantage.
Oh.
Crackle is gonna fall. Rexon's there to at least take one down, keeping this at 4 versus 4.
The side is ass.
This is looking pretty decent
Rexon.
for Asparagus right now, especially now. There we go, Rexon dealing with Blaz. So much time and so much kit still. Remember, they've got that send. They can cut off some lines of sight. Yes, G2, they've done a bit of interior decoration, but there we go, that disc flies through. Hungry, dealing with Loira, Uno in a 1 versus 4, and they're getting ready to go for a fast and furious collapse. There we go, the planet is going down. Can Kit be stuck, or will Uno be able to deny it? Looks like he doesn't quite have the right angle. There we go, it's Posty P.
Stuck on the top floor here, Uno, not much they can do. Trying to open up some more angles with the C4.
Yeah, Rexon's ready now. This shit's over, kid.
They're going to get themselves out of that scenario. It's not looking too hot here for Uno. Has to try and get down and find something. Hatch drop could come through, but for now, we'll at least find data. Off the top here, but only 20 seconds to work with. This is going to be very, very difficult for Uno to work with. There's at least a bit of passion on the top floor as well.
I have time.
Face of Jay will deal with them, and Uno finds a double inside of this one, but it's Rexon and Hungry linking up, and it's going to be very, very difficult here now for Uno to recover this covering angle on the window. Hungry's there, finish the round off. Asparagus, they'll find another one. That's 2 in a row now.
Absolutely, and again, this is the thing. Sometimes with a site like that, right, you're kind of backed in this awkward little corner where you know there's a doorway.
Is anybody else getting scared yet?
Because
I am.
Towards the site, so it is pretty sensible to be like, okay, we'll just open it up a lot. We'll play slightly wider. We'll play above. But unfortunately, Asparagus were just able to get those picks.
What's up, JJ?
Initially,
how you doing?
Really spin that momentum in their favor. As soon as those bodies start dropping, again, you've left a very exposed site. They have a gorgeous amount of kit to deal with it. Again, taking the sends, cutting off a line of sight. It's like kind of using what you'd intended to use yourself against you. You intended to have these long lines of sight and all this cover from a distance. The sends basically renders that impossible, even if it didn't come down to a 1vx.
Different site here now, though. Heading to T. See what G2 have in their pocket.
It's been boring, or is it alright? No, it's been competitive so far. We'll see here if Asparagus can win a T round or not.
Have an extension as well inside of office. Laz and Doki out there looking at got the lesion. Loira has been forced off of it and forced onto the smoke. Okay, so firing a bit better today. It's been kind of a struggling day yesterday, but I think that just kind of happens as one of your other teammates just steps up and decides to collect most of the kills anyway. See, of course, if they can continue that form. Uno, Prick C4, waiting to toss it out a window. I've seen that quite often in Skyscraper. It seems to be a bit of a meta formulating here for this map anyway. Right, people ready with C4s to toss them out, eh?
Close one.
Ooh, Doki. Looking like he's gonna go for it. Wants to get cheeky, wants to get spicy. I think, again, rightfully so. G2 frothing at the mouth to that match point right now. Looking to take these gunfights as quickly as they possibly can. They want this opener so badly, Sham.
They really, really do. You can see them just checking every angle that they have possible. Going at their disposal. You can see Doki just waiting. Where's it going to be? Where's the feet going to float past? Is someone going to come up to that window? But no one's really moving. No one's playing into it yet from Asparagus. See Rexon throws a nade out just to make Doki a little bit more uncomfortable. The drone will come through so they know exactly where he is, exactly what his position is. But it's Doki at the end of the day. He'll not care. Move out ever so slightly. We're starting to get deeper into the round so they can begin to pull a little bit back. Jay downstairs inside the reception. Wants to dance away for the moment in time. Just wait.
This is very slow from Asparagus. They're just doing nothing. They took a minute 30, didn't clear them, and they all got out. So it's a 5v5, 120 now.
Waiting for them to come round. The yellow ping's there. They have the information. Uno's finished it before it can even be delivered to Alamo. Uno from the top floor, from the hatch.
Not a good attack here.
Where Jay was coming from. Now a minute left to work with. And now to start to put this pressure on the drum.
What's up, Diabetic?
Attackers have dropped
Can use
the bomb.
those room Bs if they want to contest these corners where, again, if you send them out, it can allow you just a little bit of a live ping for you to react to or maybe go for a pinch. They're taking their sweet time with it, though. Rex and Packball can start to get a bit aggro using that util together, but it looks like they're coming to a little bit of a standstill, splitting up a little bit, making sure they can at least try and get a pick back in their favor by spreading out, spreading even.
Oh, actually, wild card later tonight, yeah.
Take to make. Ooh, beautiful stuff there then. Daya getting one. Just opening some breathing room for them to at least take the Geisha control. They have to be careful.
Ooh, timing. Hold up.
Can't do it though. Daya Rexon shutting down the attempted defending from G2 right now, giving them all this breathing room. They can attempt to stick the plant. There we go, Sham.
They are going to go for it here. Alamau and Blood try and link together the sense covering it. They're not able to see where the plant is going down. It will be successful.
Why would he be planting on that side, Blaz?
You would say plenty of time to work with for either side, but Day has found himself a triple kill. Alamau has to come up the black stairs.
Uh-oh, timeout G2. 3 attacks, 3 defenses lost in a row. Timeout G2, 5-5.
This is insane, by the way.
Yes.
That's actually, if at the start of the side switch, I was like, oh, this is not looking great for Asparagus right now. You know, it's a full
timeout G2. No timeout G2.
Asparagus themselves,
they lost 3
really
defenses in a row.
On that util, they've relied on taking
all right,
their time,
run it back.
finding these opening engagements. They haven't been too hasty with it. If anything, in that last round, they basically punished G2 for the eagerness for that opener.
Attackers need to locate and defuse as many bombs as they
Sub
can.
Chris.
Tends to be the case though with G2 is that they do get eager, they do leave themselves open when they try to go for something, and that is generally how you get a bit of success. That's what we've seen most of the teams, and that's where Matchco were doing well last week. And I think that is how you kind of play them, kind of counter them. It's nice to see though that Asparagus have got this up to 5-5. I'm excited for this. I didn't expect that. I thought this was going to be more one-sided.
I just can't get over how important it was to dislodge the player in Geisha from the get-go, because again, as soon as they did that, it was like that's what, again, that twig snap, that penny drop. They came rushing into Geisha. Doki stuck around the corner.
I expect Romalo to say port things.
Shut down that collapse into karaoke.
To be fair, it is his job as a coach to say relatively important things in a timeout. Yes.
Still the sends to cut off lines of sight. So really good going from Asparagus right now.
I think the unfortunate thing as well with that Geisha push is that they lose it because Uno gets a little bit overzealous and peeks into it when he didn't actually really have to. He could have just chilled for a second. I think that's the frustrating part of it.
So Falcon.
Geisha is a really big point. Can't stress it that much. Most of these sites, it is at a point where you really need to get control of. It's a really big point on that note. Anyway, for this round, up to Office, something slightly different. For now, attacking side, trying to figure out where their approach will be from. Looks as though it's a bit more direct. Looks as though they're going to hit the bottom part, be playing off the potential of vertical. They know there's a player downstairs. They know there's someone over towards the pantry side. It is indeed Uno on the Valkyrie that is down there. The drones will come through, get the information, see if they go on the hunt for them, see what they can get off at the back of it. For now, Uno's pulled all the way back, all the way towards Barbecue, so quite a distance away. The first cable call rings through, a couple of shots.
Uno on the roam.
Trying to really hunt down Uno, really try to isolate this gunfight and try and get this opening pick, but Uno just still dancing around, gets back through to Pantry. They haven't been able to get them. There was Jay now moves them towards Pantry. Try and find out.
Rex, I'm just waiting for Jay to come and meet him on this approach from below. You two are expecting this. They do tend to be pretty good with placing those black eyes below when they are holding this site, so they should at some point get an inkling that there's pressure coming in from Jay and Rex Hun. Packball's joined up with them now too. Looking to establish this vertical pressure. They're aware of it now. It's quite difficult when you've got this Deimos as well, because again, nades in pocket, something can occur. Catch you off guard if he sends out one of those Pokeballs. A good job at least trying to deny this wall, but I do believe that is it being open
55
now.
seconds, 5v5.
A little bit of pressure starting to
I gotta help
around G2.
this guy now.
Yep. Deathmark's come up as well. And the revolver rings right through this.
Big kill at Blaz.
Find something. Blaz though will find the opening pick. It'll be day at a fall. As Alma lingers on the house staircase, waiting for someone to push up. The nade was thrown at them, but nothing off the back of it. Uno managed to get back towards site and get kill onto Rexon, hopping into sight here. Packball though tries to take the game by the scruff of the neck, but it won't happen.
Match point now,
whatsoever.
or not match,
Flawless
but
for
map
G2.
point for G2.
Completely collapses there for
But this is the only
Asparagus.
site they've won so far. They've only been able to win off
Match
this.
point of the day.
Again, they had the information, they just had to react to it, they just had to try and get those off angles as well. And again, not be baited at times by Asparagus.
We're gonna go back to kitchen. Okay.
So Asparagus were trying to rely on, again, using that utility to get G2 to push a bit more aggressively towards them. I'm thinking of, you know, the staircase hold.
Yeah.
Send a bit of a nade there. Maybe you catch them on the off angle, but G2 playing pretty stoic there in that round, to be fair. Very sturdy indeed. Pulling us to match point now. But can Asparagus take us to that overtime? I think already, despite the fact that G2 are currently on that match point, people have to yet again take their hats off to Asparagus. They had a phenomenal time yesterday, causing a massive upset that a lot of people weren't expecting. And now it's 6-5. Right? This hasn't been a steamroll for G2, despite the fact that that first half was a 4-2 for them.
Yeah, exactly.
Asparagus have made them work for it, Sham.
Oh, they absolutely have. Absolutely. I mean, this could go either way. We could be entering to overtime, or we could be heading to cafe.
5 seconds remaining.
All up in the air. Flip of a coin as to which way we are heading. Where we're heading for now, though, is barbecue. Or the site selection of G2. I imagine they'll hold on to Geisha as long as they can. Again, very important point. Can't stress how much it is. Especially on this site, it is directly above. You lose that part and it becomes very, very difficult to defend this site. That's just the nature of a vertical. That's just what you want. Well, that's a bit of an extension though. The garage for the out to the dragon side. I don't know where garage is coming from. No, it's like I'm already on cafe. Hungry for the EMP, just trying to open up Geisha and make some work of this.
Cover me.
Patience is a virtue, as we've touched on before. Asparagus getting the feelers out. A lot of kit they can work around here as well. They do.
Yeah, SI-22 is COVID SI.
But the Yings and the Vinker in play. Maybe a bit of an aggressive push towards the end. So it looks like they're just trying to get the feelers out on that external, work out what they want to do here. If they want to go a bit more direct, or if they want to maybe take that verticality fast and furious. Looks like that might be the case here. Jay already getting into the building now. They are attempting to go for it, just putting the feelers out. G2 not biting either. A lot of patience yet again from G2. Doki dealing with Jay. Batty little angle there.
G2 gonna take map 1 unless it's a crazy choke.
The trades, they're being attempted to spray and pray through the wall, but it's not quite capitalizing. It's not quite coming to fruition.
And was also failed. Courtesy of Rexon. Packbill's found himself a double onside this round as well. 2 onside for Asparagus. Packbill and Hungry have to link together to pull this one back from the brink. Alimal not looking too great for the HB. They have control established on this top floor. They have something to work with. Hungry waiting on the hatch, waiting for someone to step into their crossfire. Just waiting. Lingering, the drones come through. try and get the information, figure out where G2 are hanging around, which corners they're sitting in. Do at least for now know where Loira is. He's been quite quiet on the second half. Still checking the vertical, using the candelas just to flash them out. Smoke them down to cover those feet angles as well. They know there's a player inside of Pantry, but they don't know how close Alomao is. It's actually a triple kill for Patbull, who'll bury Alomao, Doki and Loira now to try and link up and finish.
All right, G2 take map 1, but that is their map pick.
Comfortable finish there for G2.
We're gonna go to Cafe now, which is picked by Asparagus.
Yeah, really sensible for G2 just to stay on that.
Putting up predictions for map 2.
Play around denying that plan. Granted, you know, really good.
Who wins map 2? Predictions are up. I'm gonna run to the restroom too. I'll be right back.
Utility, the smokes, the flashes, just to try and give them a little bit of breathing space there. But unfortunately, it was close, but no cigar. Again, hats off to them. To be fair, a 7-5 is nothing to be scoffed at, but it is G2 at the end of the day. G2, of course, that was their map pick for a reason. They have won it, and that's map number 1 under their belt. But right now, for Asparagus, it's like, okay, even though they lost that, it still does spell a little bit of excitement. Remember, they caused that upset yesterday, Sham, and they did not make this easy for G2.
No, they didn't. They didn't lie down and just give them the map at all. I thought it was going to be a bit more one-sided than it was. Asparagus really turned up to the races. We could be very much still in Skyscraper, still on overtime. We could still be talking about the game, but we're not. We're going to Cafe and G2 looking pretty good. Asparagus looking pretty good. I'm excited for Cafe. I'm very, very excited. It's going to be a close game, I think. I'm hoping for it.
Absolutely. We will have a short little break now, so don't go anywhere. We will be right back.
It'll get better. Never look at it as if you're only there for one map or whatever. It's fine. You will do better later, and the fact that you hold yourself accountable for a certain level of quality that you espouse is already incredibly important. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the show. As you see, we continue on, and it's our very, very first map in this series that has gone the way of G2, but only just. We're talking about starting signs. Turns out it's a bit harder to play defense on Skyscraper, at least in this specific matchup between our two squads, but G2 do triumph in this first one. Here to break it all down, Grace and Cham. And look, you guys have watched every single detail of the game.
Who knows the GOAT? Of course he's the MVP. What do you want about?
Almost flipped the game fully to G2 because there was a point where I went to get T, went back, and it was 5-2. And I'm like, how did 3 rounds just kind of go by? It was just such a G2 heavy bit, and then completely swung the other way to get us to a 7-5.
Couldn't make it as a wild man. Couldn't make it as... Mike's not working. Mike's not working. Uh-oh. Well, in that case...
I think it's this idea that they didn't want to expose themselves too much.
Gear prediction in for map 2 if you want.
It's not going to go well for them.
Cafe, picked by...
They decided to play more
Asparagus.
Relying on that external to give them almost a safety net. And then they went for the jugular. Then they went for these collapses with a lot of kit in that pockets. G2, they started well. They had the information on that defense. Again, even having that 4-2 attacking side. Same as Yumi last round. I was like, okay, GG, it's Joba. But no, Asparagus were able to pull it back just by relying on patience and utility. And again, patience is a virtue. We said that multiple times throughout that map, and it really does show that sometimes you just take your time with it and you just allow yourself to get information, get a few of those picks under your belt. It really does enable you a bit more breathing space when you are going for an execute. You use a bit of utility. They relied so much on this set.
Your voice, and I sing it sounds so sweet. Banger or what? Banger or what? Come on. With the lips of an angel.
It's funny that you're calling me tonight. And yes, I've dreamt of you too. Does he know you're talking to me? Will it start a fight? No, I don't think she has a clue.
My girlfriend, the next room.
Sometimes I wish she was you. I guess we never really
Move on.
It's really good to
Hear your voice. Say that name, it sounds so sweet. Of an angel. Are we back?
It
sounds so sweet.
Statistically speaking, teams who win map 2 in a best-of-3 series have the highest shot of winning it all, Grace.
Certainly so. Again, it's the idea of getting that momentum under your belt. Going into Cafe Vote, G2 will be starting on the defense, Asparagus will be starting on the attack, and I am wondering how that is going to impact things from the get-go. Again, Asparagus, they've proven time and time again, they can be a competent attacking team, but consider how much verticality exists within Cafe. You can't really rely as much on just kind of getting that information.
Which Brazilian do you think they get to replace Blaz?
As the time progresses, or
I don't think they'll get him now, but wasn't the rumor that they were supposed to get Volt Asparagus, and then they couldn't get him.
All the way. I'd like to again, according to the gravity waterfall, start from the top, trickle your way down. I think G2 themselves might up the ante.
Yeah,
a bit
good
here.
room,
They've
sure,
got
it's
that
fun.
map number 1 in the belt. They might go a bit more aggro, and that could catch Asparagus off guard here.
But Shem, yesterday the big talk about Asparagus was that they are a very reactive team. They're able to think on the fly. Does Cafe fit that? Does this game against G2, especially showing in map 1, that they can pull it into a map 3, and how?
I think so, yeah. I think that's a good point to bring up, the reactivity of Asparagus.
Do I think
My issue
Neworg
is
gets
G2,
picked up
and
if he
rounding
leaves
up with G2
Oak
is not
G?
the funnest experience to...
Yeah, they could have options.
perhaps
I don't
be in.
know what team though,
Cafe's
but
a bit of a weird one for G2 because they've played it 3 times, they've lost it twice. Their most recent time they were on it was actually when they played against Sonics and at Montreal, and they went home. They got absolutely dominated in that entire series. So it's a bit of a strange point for G2. I'm actually not really sure how this is going to play out. It's one of those ones where they're not too bothered. It's a bit of a strange one, I think.
Okay, well, it's perfect timing. God damn. Perfect timing. Our game is ready to go, so we're going to
Gear prediction and ending predictions after round 1.
What potentially can be G2's direct run into the grand final. Maybe Asparagus can upset and keep this into or turn this into a 3-mapper. Asparagus versus G2 with our casters Shem and Grace. Enjoy.
Ooh, starting off with a sense ban on Cafe Dostoevsky. Thank you very much, Milos, for taking us through that disc segment. Go and enjoy more tea. I've seen that on the camera there, him drinking his tea, so I imagine he'll be downing even more. We'll get a tea counter up on the stream at some point for him. Now, into Cafe. Grace, sense ban? What are we thinking?
Again, Asparagus really relied on that to cut off the lines of sight that G2 could have used against them. So maybe it's kind of feeling into that a little bit. Maybe it's just a little bit cheeky. But Sense is actually quite powerful when it comes to Cafe. A lot of people have been relying on it when it comes to that kitchen attack, for example. You can cut off the long line of sight all the way from Whiskey. It allows you a little bit more of an easier entryway if you want to start contesting people in Bakery. Go a bit more direct. So I don't think that's anything too flamboyant from G2. But it's kind of taken away maybe a bit of kit that they themselves were a bit annoyed about in that first map. And
why I keep typing to Hungry? He said, "Oh, Hungry."
Such a powerful gun, and of course those evil eyes. It's information. It's plant denial. I think Asparagus have gone a little bit more standard. They've banned out that Blackbeard. They themselves not looking to capitalize on it, but they don't want it in the hands of G2 when it comes to that side switch. The Azami is very, very standard, especially for Cafe. Consider Christmas, where you can throw them here and everywhere. Gone are the days of holding Pixel with a shield. When you have Azami, there's Keeper barriers. You can just fully redecorate, send a Keeper here, there,
G2 won map 1, 7-4, I think.
I'm not too surprised
No,
to see
7-5.
either.
No, 7-5.
Now, Sham, the interesting one for me is how much information G2 were able to gain on their defenses on Skyscraper, and we're already seeing kind of inkling at that, but also potentially some shenanigans. Vigil is in play, and they are choosing to bring him out.
Finally, some Vigil play from G2. We've seen like a couple of flashes of it, but the boss G... I'm surprised I haven't seen it more this weekend. I'm just so surprised. It's just not that people have not been like, yeah, we'll just leave that open. Yeah, we'll just Boss G. It's so strong right now. Love a little bit of Boss G accent, Can you tell that I love it? I think I've got that point across enough. I think that people understand that. First sight of this map, though, we're heading into reading. And the Boss G has already been unleashed. Hasn't found anything.
Yeah, Mr. Beast team lost to Cruelty. The goats.
For the spawn peak, though, and I think this is going to be pretty much the tempo for this map. I imagine that G2 will be in and out of windows and trying to catch them out, trying to be aggressive and just playing basically like G2 always play. Swing absolutely everything in sight. Almal with a prep C4 ready to go out the white window should someone appear. Bullets have actually came from the other window, though. So I have to be careful of someone around the corner on the white corridor. Re-rips the C4 and waits for it. 3 people on the top floor for now. Vigil in the hands of Uno. Loira waiting in that pixel position inside of Lounge. Or upside down Rebel, just to see if they can try and put the pressure into Lounge here now.
Quiet before the storm. Once again, Asparagus taking their times, getting the feelers out. We have to start making a bit of an entryway into the map, though. Again, top floor control is the first step of this approach. Looks like they themselves are just waiting for aggression from G2. If it's not quite trickling through, that could be a little bit of a misread. Asparagus, they have to start making their way into the building soon, or it's going to get a little bit awkward.
I don't like how quiet.
Why did it take them 2 minutes to get inside?
Very suspicious. Very suspicious.
Something sinister as afoot.
It does seem like Rexon's keeping his eye on Cocktail, though. So again, maybe they're looking at doing a little bit of a 3-2-1. Dropping down to dislodge the players around there. There we go. Gifted a C4 just by waiting on the rappel for so long. Loira has been dealt with, though. Hackball, he will fall too. It's looking too great for Asparagus right now, losing 2 bodies. Make that free. Dare will also fall. Goodness me, Sham.
Oh my god.
Yeah, that was horrible.
Here. Before I can even get a word in, G2 have just finished the round. Final shot is indeed a boss G. It was just patience, and eventually when Asparagus had to make the decision of, right, okay, we need to go, we need to do something now, let's get in amongst it. G2 were ready for it. Honestly, Alamal's fingers probably in pain just from holding on to that C4 for so long, just waiting for a window to throw it out. It did pay off in the end, which is always nice.
Yeah, no, it's interesting because we saw for the longest time Rexon was holding the cam in.
Ranger, I think it was 36 months. Appreciate it, dude. Welcome back.
Do a little 3-2-1. We saw someone kind of hovering around the skylight. I was like, are they just going to do a sudden drop? But they didn't really have any util that would imply, or like the full position that would imply that that was the kind of thing they were going for. Felt a little bit. I don't want to say chaotic because it wasn't chaotic. It was just more confusing, to be honest, on the side of Asparagus. Just waiting for almost G2 to be aggressive there, just holding on to these angles, and G2 were like, no, why would we? Like, come to us. Come get you some.
Yeah, exactly. Just wait. It's the most patient I've seen G2. I've said that today a few times, actually. I felt like patience has been actually something that I think we can commend them on, because usually they're in and out of windows like... I mean, don't get me wrong, they did hop out of windows a few times, right? But based on the expectations, based on how many windows and doors they usually jump out...
Do we think that anybody even has a chance in NA quals besides wildcard, or should they just easily win? Will OXG and wildcard be closer than G2 and either of the teams in this qual? In the final?
And of course, as is standard for the beautiful map of Cafe, especially when you are approaching this kitchen site, we are going to see the Ram come out. Packball gets his one, though. C4 ripped from the hands of G2 as well.
Wildcard easily win. That's kind of what I think, but we'll see.
But for now,
I said this yesterday, but wildcard to me are definitely the best team, and if they lose, it's their own fault. They just choked.
Start working that verticality and force G2 into these off positions, but G2 themselves are playing pretty off anyway. They're not really playing on site.
Oh!
They're expecting it from the get-go. Beautiful stuff.
QUALS masterclass.
Site, and I love that. It's denying the trade. You get your one, you pull back to safety. It's a really good way to maintain.
Cruelty will win. That would be a plot twist for sure. OXG beats Wildcard. Wildcard goes to losers bracket. It somehow loses to Cruelty, who they beat 14-2 yesterday, or 14-3.
It sounds as though they are now beginning to get it done.
That would be something.
A situation above. They'll drop down with the buck and begin to, as you would say, interior design will commence inside of train. And fireplace, opening up walls, opening up the floor, making G2 uncomfortable, but they won't give an inch as of yet. We're approaching that final minute, and still Asparagus struggling with a little bit of time here.
Gonna read the lips of an angel.
Yes, having to create some rotations, so that's to do it. Don't want to faff about wasting util on dealing with those castle barricades either. G2, the setup is very structured, it's very strong. Asparagus, they're just looking for another pick, I think. And speaking of looking for picks, Doki looking to get a little bit sneaky here on the approach on red.
I think they know, though. You can see Hungry's outline there, the Grim waiting. I think they're aware, although Hungry has moved off of it.
Did Ivan do well against Mr. B's team? I didn't even watch that match.
Hold this. There's the B's there. So they do send it, push Doki back a little bit. Oh, thinks better of it. Thinks, yeah, they know my position. I've been clocked. Let's let's head back, and it's looking like this 1-2-3 is about to come through the decay call, the flashbang through the hatch
Oh,
here.
shit
Oh
on.
my word, that's a shot and a half from Patbill. Removes Loira's
Oh, they're
head
gonna get
from
the bomb
its
down.
shoulders and leaves Doki.
He was
and a
MVP. Jesus.
technically, well, almost a 1 versus 4 because Uno's down. Blaz is not on good HP whatsoever. Somehow Blaz gets a triple and gets across to the diffuser. Where's the cover though? It's above.
What is
but
going on? I'm running the
finish it
restroom. Hold
off.
on.
Asparagus still find the round on Cafe.
Oh my goodness, just by the skin of their teeth. Really came down to the nail there on both sides, I'd argue as well. Of course, yes, the sometimes issue with being on those offsite positions is that if they suddenly drop from freezer, they can just go in and try and stick that plan. It was a really good attempt at shutting it down coming out from G2, but ultimately that cover from above, Taylor's oldest time, vertical pressure already being established, it could be used to shut down that plant defuse. So right now, 1-for-1 on both sides. I don't think either team's feeling too flustered, though, to be honest, Sham.
Yeah.
We are going to go to dining and mining. I really think for G2 right now, it's about maybe bringing a little bit more presence from the get-go. They've been patient. They've been quite passive in these early rounds. Maybe this is the time for them to up the ante and try something a little bit more feisty, just so they can get that opening pick under their belt. Again, pull back to safety. Start on that more advantageous position.
Mining is where we head to next. And G2 on the top floor yet again. An extension of Cord, of course. That's usually the case on Cafe. A little bit up top, a little bit down below. Loira, though, will start things off very quickly. And they're finally rewarded for that aggression at the start of the round, hanging out at windows and doors. It's hungry, taking off, and the Grim Bees go with it. Oh, very difficult later on in the round. Should they require someone to displace someone out of a position? C4 prepped as well from everybody. They all just waited to throw one out a window, Grace. Both of them just were looking at the same window, ready to toss it out for anyone that could be there.
But that's exactly what you want to see, right? This is G2 just trying to get that opening pick nice and quickly. They're trying to catch them off guard. They're trying to rustle the jimmies from the get-go. Again, if you can try and find something.
Is old Beast Coast roster still going SI? Yeah, it's well, it's not their old roster, but it's
more passive and playing around util. Put you in a really good place. Gives you more bodies to go for.
Gavini, Spirits, Dream, and Adam.
Love the fact that as well, G2 have really focused on denying information from the hands of Asparagus. Because yes, Vigil, the ability in itself, you can lurk around without being spotted out as effectively. There'll be a slight inkling that you're lurking somewhere, but not the exact positioning. And of course, the Mozzie mute combo. Oh, nasty stuff there from Loira with the traders there, though. Packbull is able to keep on top of things. Tagged up a little bit as Jay will fall. That's unfortunate. Rexon and Packbull. Certainly two incredible players in their own right, but Rexon will fall to the hands of Uno, and there we have it. G2, another round on the table. A good utility setup.
Getting boss sheet by Uno has to be like the worst feeling ever,
again,
I feel like.
Pretty smoothly behind, but still passive, but a bit more of the ante being up now. Relying on C4s, relying on getting those picks and hiding behind the setup. Nothing too bolshy from G2.
Yeah, it was really good. You know, the mirror windows upstairs inside freezer and bathroom, they just struggled to clear it out there. It doesn't help when you've got Loira just one-tapping people from behind. But, you know.
They're gonna be the lips of an angel.
Kind of go, I guess, section by section. And if you can't get control of that, it makes it very, very difficult to take one of those middle floors. If you can't get that top floor control, and Asparagus just couldn't do it. Couldn't crack the egg, couldn't get there. And G2 won that one in relatively comfortable fashion. Now taking the lead on Cafe, heading up to the top floor, heading up to that cocktail site. See what they have in store for us. More Mira, more Castle as what G2 like to bring. I don't think I'm too surprised on what the setup will be. Likely some focus inside of that cigar shop for the Castle hold and the mute as well. A classic little kind of hold mute. I do like when they do that, when teams do that, and then they prep the Castle barricade. I think it's one of the most underrated ones. It's kind of like mid-round reinforcements. It's like one of those little kind of niche things that can really change around where you prep a Castle barricade just so you can move when and if you need to get out of that situation.
What was the score when we played G2 on Cafe? Did we beat them 7-1 or 7-2? 7-2, I think.
Setting up a lot of kit, deal with runouts, deal with flanks. The stuff you love to see. Again, just putting the feelers out, working out what they want to do here. Nice little extension from G2. Got Doki all the way downstairs.
Oh.
Ooh, he gets it. Fair enough.
Didn't even seem like you hit him. The prize that killed him. Seemed like he had bad aim there.
Ladies and gentlemen, you get that pick, you pull back. Where is the trade? It does not exist. A freebie there for G2 to get things started.
Hungry again, man. Not twice in a row. The Grimpies go away. Oh, he's going to be gutted. Gutted there, just gets caught out on the upside down rappel, though. This round, though. Oh, a little bit of tension as they know there's a player on the window. Both of them, actually, and it's just going to peek it. Doki gets one. Looking for a third.
Okay.
It's Doki. It's the Scotsman himself.
Doki's just killed 3 people outside this round. We won 7-2. That's what I thought.
For Asparagus as he fell.
Well, I guess Asparagus did look good on this map yesterday, but G2 picked Cafe against us, so that's a map they're if you're willing to pick a map, usually it means you're like pretty comfortable on it. Even though we beat them, like.
Now 3 is Lyra Falls. And Grace.
I feel like this wasn't the best map pick.
Falling apart here for Asparagus.
Too much result based on yesterday. Just because you won it yesterday doesn't mean you'll win it here.
No, he can't. Uno gets that final pick. That's what I'm talking about, Shav. I was like, hey, when are they going to up the ante? When are they going to choose to go for something a bit more bolshy? Because in my opinion, G2 had played it very, very passive up until this point, relying on C4s, relying on these tighter angles.
Asparagus timeout. Yeah, looking rough for them.
Allow Asparagus to come to them and maybe be caught
I think
off
it'll be
guard.
Mako.
This was the first time that G2 actually upped the ante.
I want a Mako G2 final and then Mako wins. Just because that would be hilarious. Even though they probably won't.
That's a very sensible choice indeed.
Or Mashko, whatever the fuck you guys are going to pronounce it.
Feels at times like Asparagus are just taking a little bit too much time, which is a big shame, really. They know this map pretty well. Again, they're 3-1 on it. They had such a good time the other day. They even caused the upset yesterday on it. They just need to go through the motions that we know that they know.
Yeah, that's absolutely the case. Is it too early for a rendition of Flower of Scotland from me?
No, go for it. Please do.
I would absolutely love to if I could sing. I'm not going to subject anyone to that. Maybe a karaoke night.
What is the schedule for today?
There we are.
Yeah,
next major.
next major. Everybody keep me accountable to that one, you know. Remind me of Doki's 3K on Cafe. Absolutely wonderful.
So NA starts
from him. Now back in after the tactical timeout, heading into a reading.
Wait, is that 7?
Rico's coming through in just a second.
That's 7, right?
Leave the game. So
oh no, it's 5. Okay, 5. Yeah.
As to how this kind of first half.
Oh wait, when does?
Grace, how are we feeling on Cafe? Are we feeling that G2 are going to start running away with it, or are we feeling?
So this will start immediately after.
Asparagus to squeeze back in.
Oh shit!
It really does depend on.
Oh, I don't know if I could go all the way through. Hell no.
I do think that again, like at the end of the day,
I don't know if I'm watching all the way through with no break to NA. Because if it goes off this schedule, it'll be NA the EU finals, and then right into
moments as well. Right now, for them, it's okay.
Right into NA. I still have to pack and shit for tomorrow.
We just have to show up and play the Siege that we know and love. The Siege.
I mean, this is just insane. Watching Cruelty is like a fever dream.
A bit basic with G2 in terms of utility.
We did bad in
this. More around this idea. Okay, what's the positioning going to be? How are we going to play around the aggression? I think it would be very silly if you're a team like G2 to suddenly start throwing all of everything at Asparagus.
CGG taking stats for this?
Capitalize on that a little bit more. So G2 have actually been very sensible. We've seen it from the get-go. They're playing very, very passive, very, very safe.
Nice.
And that's leaving Asparagus wasting a lot
Good job,
of
CGG.
time. When you waste that much time and you're not really getting into the building, you're not really starting to clear things, that's when the pressure can really start to form, because you eventually start to kind of go in a little bit blind, so to speak.
Really on top of things over there.
Where things can fall apart very quickly. Now, G2, they've upped the ante. They've started getting a bit more cheeky. We've already seen a run out for Doki, and that puts them in a good power position, because for Asparagus, felt like, okay, are they going to keep doing this now? Are they going to keep being aggressive? Do we need to watch all these angles? Remember, Sham, if you're watching the angle from one of your teammates while they're going up on their rappel, for example, that's a lot of
negative
time wasted
34,
where you could be
Jesus.
elsewhere, finding some more information, clearing up some utility. So it's kind of like the mental warfare that we're going to start seeing throughout this map, trickling through more and more as time progresses. Judging on the lineup we just saw before the rehost as well, again, G2, they're not reinventing the wheel. They're being actually quite old school. I think we saw some ADSs come out to play as well, which was quite interesting. I'm wondering if they're going to be played around those mirror windows, which again, it's this kind of solid sentry style setup. It's almost like building yourself a fortress. Of course, mirror on cafe, it's a tale as old as time. You know, you have that line of sight. They don't have that line of sight. You're really relying on maybe some throwables to remove people from those positions. We could see some ADSs.
Well, to be fair
there.
to
We could see ADSs played more around the actual
CGG,
themselves. You know, okay, fair enough. Maybe
I'm pretty sure there's literally like only one or two people who work there now. Like they might have one employee. Like I don't know how many people actually work at CGG anymore.
Yeah, I'm glad you highlighted the mirror, because we've seen so much mirror today on this map. It's been a point of contention quite a few times, especially on that top floor. The double mirror set.
I did an interview with CGG literally before Christmas, and they said that it would be posted soon, and I don't think they've posted it yet. So I don't know what the fuck they're doing. They literally said it would be posted like in a day or two after I did the interview.
Things set up,
because it was like right as we joined Shopify, and it was like asking, they were like asking me about joining Shopify. They just never posted it. Like,
do
what?
Do you think G2 to close this one out, or do we think Asparagus can get us to a third map?
Oh, I don't like when people ask me predictions, because it is Rainbow Six Siege, and I do think in the current format, especially given how the T2, T1 contention can be at times, I think it's still very unpredictable. Of course, at the end of the day, it is G2. They are at that 3-1 mark, and I do feel like if they're able to kind of dominate a bit more on defense, they should realistically be able to take on the attack, because I do feel Asparagus usually have pretty clean-cut attacks. They're very good at finding opportunities and taking advantage of it, but they're kind of struggling on this map. It's like the wind has gone out of their sails somewhat. I would like to see them maybe go a little bit
Asparagus got to get some attacks on the board here, bud. Cafe is not really defender-sided, or at least like that. It's like 3-3.
Can take advantage of that. Can take advantage of two of you maybe being in a position and not aware of their presence. So there's a lot that Asparagus need to think about here.
A very diplomatic answer there, Grace.
It's just because, like, you know, on the one, like again, like G2, this roster, previous rosters, it's such a big part of Siege for me, and it's such a big part of my enjoyment from Siege from many moons ago. And with Asparagus as well, as like I say, Rexon is my Lysan Al-Hib. I think he is the prophecy. He was the prince that is promised.
G2 aren't even in this shit. I was gonna say, what were G2's?
Right now, and you know, it's him and a lot of other players at that T2 level. I really want to see how they're going to progress in 2025, and I think this is a really great start for someone like Rexon, where you're already in the SILCQs, right?
I think Wild are still at Siege.
You are the kind of
they
player
played in their QUALS.
Phenomenal performance at this kind of level of tournament. Ooh.
You got C4 on the roof.
That's unfortunate. A C4 to the face of Jay to get things started, Jam.
Straight into the chat with a ha 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 ha. Loira. It's a classic. You wait below the hatch on the top of cafe, and someone just comes right off the rappel, right into the waiting arms of the C4 things. It just happens that way. That's what it is. You've seen a lot of C4s.
Yeah, they did. Wild,
few of them rewarded.
I don't know if they were trialing people or they just like, I don't know if Packbulls dropped, but yeah, they like split up their team and were like basically playing with two different teams.
Pillar. Also aware that
I think Packbull basically was like being benched while they trialed somebody in the qual or something. I think.
Genuinely must be frozen over at this point, because I don't think I've seen someone hold a C4 this long, this many times on one window so passionately. I love to see it.
I respect it though. Again, if you've established that they're playing those rappels to get a lot of info from the get-go, new player on something like a C4. Again, you don't even have to peek them. You don't have to push up. Just use the C4s. Beautiful.
These guys are getting shit on.
The trade comes through.
Mako are the only team that have a chance, I think.
And he's trying to keep on top of it, but Rexon's gonna fall. That's unfortunate. A 1 versus 4 now. Can Hungry do it? No, he can't. G2
Well, I don't even know if they have a chance because they kind of got smoked yesterday.
Clean cut, smooth sailing. It's really good stuff indeed, and this is where maybe you start to feel a little bit concerned for Asparagus.
Yep. Yes,
Things
absolutely.
slipping away from them, Sham.
I think so, yeah. And of course, just to remind you, yes, we had a little bit of a tech pause there, but just before that happened, we did have the tactical timeout from Asparagus. That's already been and gone, so they've already had their discussions and tried to figure out what their issues are. And to not convert the round after, it's not a complete loss. It's not the worst thing in the world, but that's ideally what you want to do. You want to try and have those immediate effects. And fortunately, it's not went their way. G2 looking pretty comfortable so far and looking like they're playing like their usual self.
I want Rex Hun 999 to make it, and then put him in our group. Rex Hun versus Rex Hun for the battle of the name. Whoever loses has to change their name.
On now into the current round, so heading to mining, and we will be seeing a bit of Scopos action coming through. Echo as well. I do like a lot of Echo action here and there.
It sounds so sweet.
I absolutely love a bit of Echo
Rexon
action.
Dollar
I think,
Store
yes, you
Rexon.
have it for the plant denial, but it gives you so much information as well. I think
He's a different region, so I won't blame him, but I do think it's dumb, and it's not spelled the same, but I do think it's weird to have your name the same as like an already established player.
Here, because it is cafe. But you still have a lot of
'Cause, like,
flexibility with where you want to move around.
His is a
as
little
your
different
guys.
because it's not exactly the same, but
The kind of
I always thought that
information
was
they can
weird.
bring,
Like,
Doki getting punished, that's
if you're a
great
good
start
player
right
who you're
now
good enough
for
to be
Asparagus.
pro, don't you want to establish like your own
Tries to take it,
brand?
so
Like, you don't want to have the
very
same
quickly.
name as somebody
Falls on
else.
the top floor, Loira
Like
also trying.
in CS, isn't there like another player who's also good and he's named Nico? Like he's like another really good CS player and his name is Nico. Like why would you just not like just have a pick a different name?
Situation as before, trying to deal with these mirror windows, doubled up mirror windows inside of freezer and bathroom. To be a tricky point to try and get by. Again, I just love.
He has his name for like 12 to 15 years. I mean, I get that, but sometimes you just have to rebrand. Now, I will say for him, I think it's different because he's EU, and it's not exactly the same. So he's maybe not the perfect example, but like,
as well, Rexon cleaning that up very, very swiftly. At least
I do think there are people who should probably try to compete under a different name.
Loira still going to be difficult to deal with them, playing around the pixel, playing around the mirror windows. G though has managed to get himself in a pretty aggressive position on.
Oh, the same about Kicks Row. Well, he at one point played as just like Kicks or something. He at least changed it to like Kicks Row, where like that's a little different. But he was playing as just Kicks at one point, which was like that was weird too.
There is space being taken. They've taken Cigar Lounge. They're probably going to now focus on getting in the mirror window and taking up that area inside the bathroom. It's been dealt with relatively easily just because they brought that ash, and that is.
I just always think it's weird to choose the same branding as a, because there's not many pro players, and you can literally choose any word in the world. Like your brain, you can choose any word, and you just happen to have the same exact name as somebody. Like,
beautiful.
Would I be pissing and shitting if someone is called Super? They'd have to wear my charm. It'd be they'd be obligated to wear the charm.
Does remove the Scopos, but Jay catches him off guard. Lots of information right now for Asparagus. They're holding for that plant. Look at the angles. Look at the Grimbees.
Oh.
They can just go for it now. Loira, beautiful stuff. Dealing with Jay.
What?
Come out, shuts down the
Okay,
plant,
these guys are just not trying anymore or something. What the fuck? How did he just run to the bomb and kill him like that? What?
But this is where the Yokais can come in clutch. Let's see if they can do it. No, maybe not. He's been shot out. Actually, Sham, that is massive.
Is Uno a moron?
Uno will fall.
Why was Uno on his Echo drone? He could have literally just shot the bomb planter.
To finish this attacking half for Asparagus, shutting down any attempt there from G2.
Uno could have literally just shot the guy.
Good positioning, good comms indeed.
Oh, that one had me on edge. That one had me on edge. I could have went either way for a bit there, but Asparagus, they get the job done. They deal with the Echo drone, and they stop it from coming through, making sure that they can't play off of that. Uno not able to deny the plant. Yeah, the post-TP situation set up, and then they just get aggressive after that. I do like when teams do that, and they just go, yeah, I'm not just going to hold here. I recognize where the player is, and I'm just going to go and take their life. That's it. Straightforward. I'm not going to bother trying to play off this angle. Sometimes.
What is the best pro name you've seen?
And push him into
My man.
Great round there from Asparagus. Grace.
My man is the best name I've seen for Siege.
It didn't, but I appreciate the attempt, right? We saw it whizzing through. Ultimately, at that point, yeah, Asparagus were able to shut it down, and they're able to do that. They already had a lot of presence in that room themselves, so for G2, they know that they only have 2 points of entry, really, they can come from. They deal with them. Really, really
What's up, Rack? How's it going?
And especially given the fact that that could have been a 5-1 half for Asparagus, which would have been dodgy.
I'm trying to think if I liked any other names besides my man.
It's still a little bit dodgy, but it's a lifeline nonetheless. They've been able to at least keep hold of 2 rounds on the attack. Cafe can be pretty defender-sided. Asparagus will be looking around, playing around the timer, dodging, ducking, diving, weaving, maybe trying to catch G2 off guard with that kind of momentum shift that we keep seeing. Falling between being more passive, being more aggressive. Again, aggression works better on the defense, and it also works better when you have been pretty passive to a certain point. If you suddenly up the ante and you pop up out of nowhere, that can catch your opposition off guard, because they have their checklist, Sham, at the end of the day. They have their step A, B, and C that they need to go through. If you're on the defense and you pop up
Canadians
out of
are really a lot of creativity went into that name from Troy.
Speaking of powerful positions, Jay inside of Bakery. Playing in there for the moment.
I'm trying to think if I like any other name. My man is the one that instantly comes to mind.
I'm almost getting things started. We'll deal with Packbill. I'm already inside of Train, already utilizing the Ram bigger devices to open up as much of this floor as possible. The pressure on Jay now as well. The flashbangs there, the flames as well from the Capital. It's really, really making it a bit difficult to play here, but still alive and kicking. Jay still ready for it. We'll see where what mischief Alamal's getting up to.
No, I don't think Avian is a big pilot. I'm not sure though.
Alamal's aware of it. He'll find himself a kill off the back, and just like that.
I think Avian was named after like birds. Like I think it's a bird or something. I think he likes birds.
The position inside of Bakery. They brought along that Echo.
Good aim.
There's a yellow ping as well. Malusi as well pretty much puts Blaz dead to rights. Beautiful shot there, but not enough as Doki.
No discipline.
Comes in from behind and finishes off Rexon, leaving Hungry with it all to do.
It's a wrap.
Doki to finish the round, and G2, they'll take another one in their first on the attack of Cafe.
And that's a great start for them. Again, going a little bit direct there, to be honest. Again, why would they faff about? They just want to get stuck in. They're hunting for that opening pick. Granted, you know, Asparagus from the get-go, they're doing a really good job at
this one's over. Let's get on to the next one.
The standard checklist.
I don't even really want to watch the next one. It's fucking Mako against Asparagus. Like, Jesus. Well, I'm rooting for 2 7-0s in that one, dude. I don't want... Don't give me like a best of 3, like 15-rounder.
They knew what they had to do. It's just G2 ultimately winning those gunfights by going a bit more direct, maybe catching Asparagus a bit more off guard there. G2 get closer and closer towards a match point, and that's a little bit heartbreaking. Remember, this is Asparagus's map pick. They did such a good job at trying to contest against G2 on that map number 1. But the quality in that team, the quality of G2 Esports, albeit, yes, they are in the LCQs right now.
Do they disconnect a lot? Forgotten? I haven't even noticed.
A little bit dodgy for them. They themselves looking to redeem themselves. Never say never. Not the first time they've had to redeem themselves.
No,
hold on, let me check my backyard camera to see if my dogs want to come in yet or not. Nope, they're just playing in the snow.
2023. We've done it before. Could do it again. Loira now on the Ash, being let loose with an ACOG and an R4C. See what work they can put in for this round, and very, very quick. A march, I guess, if you want to call it that, to the top floor.
Rexon with the Sonic skin.
Begin to open things up. The yellow pings as well on some of these windows, so they are aware that Jay is inside.
He's coming for a spot, dude, I'm telling you.
Potentially go for that jump out. classic as well, the mutant side of Cigar Shop. And there you go. We'll get one back. It's going to be Jay to get C4 onto Alamo.
Favorite player Blaz. Me too. I get to see my favorite player Blaz at SI
the idea
too.
of using those C4s to establish that pick, and then you just play around the defensive angles. You don't have to worry about giving them the trade. You just pull back at that point. They're hunting for that trade. They don't want things to slip away from them too much. I love this one, Blaz right now, getting just fully stuck in. Air jab's going out, just in case someone does go aggro around the corner. Gets caught off guard by that position at top white, though. Jay lurking around planks. Unfortunate business was not quite having the information, not reacting quick enough.
Yep, just tried to give it too quick there. Loira down below, though. It's a Banshee, and that will give away the position there. The Neworg Daya is ready for it. Ready and waiting, so Loira has to pull back. Uno joined with Doki together inside the lounge. They tried to make work of this bathroom wall, but start to mount some pressure, start to isolate some of these players.
This is winnable.
We'll find Hungry at least, so that's at least something back for G2. And we'll say of Rexon will be definitely feeling the pressure here, bearing down is indeed a Montaigne Uno in that position. It's Doki who's managed to move past and actually sneak their way up towards Bar, moving by, but someone's aware of it from the vertical one angle. That is, Rexon knew someone would maybe come past that.
That was kind of a crazy angle.
Quite ready. There's also a dropped hatch situation as well for Jay. Uno with the Montaigne and the Loira with the Ash. It's going to be a difficult end here, Grace, isn't it?
Absolutely. Again, it's a bit clunky for Uno to have that kind of kit, because it's not just the fact that you've got a pistol to work with, it's the fact that you give a massive audio cue. There's at least one for Loira. That's swinging things a bit more back in their favor. Asparagus right now, this is where they have to essentially not peek. They have to try and behave themselves a little bit. Looks like they're trying to force an execute here. Could be that Uno tries to stick the plant. Zoiva looks like they're going to go for a little bit of a backstab. The barricade is there, though. That's kind of shut down that attempt at being a little bit sneakier here. Loira just getting stuck in. Rexon shuts it down.
Rexon,
shuts down Uno as well. The Lysan Al-Gib doing bits to pull things a little bit more back into Asparagus's favor.
Did they just call him Lysan Al-Gib?
Going around the background to reading the barricade. Ultimately, it just completely undoes the attempt at bringing that one back. Just ran out of time. That's all it was at the end there for.
That's
G2.
a little strong, I'll say. I don't know if he's the Lysan
Sure
Al-Gib.
that they can close that one out, and not.
He's not even the best one with his name.
That's basically all they had to do, and they would win that one out eventually. Well, a couple of points though for G2, just moving quite quickly, trying to take a space that was perhaps not as vacated as we want. You've seen that first replay there. Jay was ready at the top of the white staircase for Blaz, who was very quickly inside the lounge and tried to just sneak their way into the bathroom and deal with the bathroom player. Perhaps I'm not looking, but Jay was ready for it. And at that point, you end up with 5 versus 3. It's difficult to recover from there. So G2, there's a bit more left in this, or in the tank of Asparagus on this match.
Not a bar, surprisingly. Look at the site's ass.
Again, look at the utility Asparagus are bringing. Nothing too snazzy, but it's more about the placement of these bits of kit. It is a bar cocktail hold. They've gone for the full shutdown of that Christmas area. It's something we've seen time and time again. People occasionally bringing castle barricades to cut off that double from Cigar, to cut off a few windows. It really slows down the default approach from the attackers, and sometimes can force people to go for a bit of a dodgy cocktail take. We're getting stuck in from below as well, and I love this so much.
Yes, very, very quick work to head up the brown staircase. This is very sneaky. Gonna wait and see if anyone perhaps just exposes themselves on that balcony. Patience game as well. Of course, there's a bit of a pinch with Alamo on the rappel. Came off it for now. Blaz waiting outside the window. Ends at the first EE1D to try and give information. Position of Hungry was given away during that. And there's a jump out as well. Blaz will find himself a 2-piece of nade catching out Hungry. You don't see nade kills all that often nowadays, but Blaz ready for
what
the
the
ready for
fuck?
the second.
Why are these teams so
Absolutely
ass? And by these teams, I just mean Asparagus. What the fuck are they doing?
They decide,
They're not even making G2 do anything. They're just feeding them kills. Like, holy fuck. These guys are ass. You have to just make G2 do something. They don't, they can't. They don't know how.
start to push through and deal with this, and it's a melee to the face.
Is Blast the king? If people are fucking
wonderful,
just jumping onto your claymores and jumping into you outside on you all the time, sure.
A little bit of a bite in the chat there.
They're trying to get in the mental. They're trying to get. It's been happening this map. I've noticed that Loira kind of piping up a bit. I'm like, okay, the mental warfare has started. Match point for G2.
Yeah, G2 are really worried about the mental here. Asparagus really putting up a fight.
You have these castle barricades around Christmas. You have to.
Yeah, final is today.
G2 themselves, like, okay, we'll send someone below. Loira will go below. We'll start pressuring Cocktail. Again, the cocktail tape can be very, very dodgy unless you have someone pushing up white or pushing up.
Yeah, so Asparagus are going to play Mako, and then Mako play G2 for the spot, and then G2, and then the winner of that quals to SI, and then Wildcard plays OXG, the loser of that plays Cruelty, and then the winner of that plays the winner of the other match for the spot. So technically there's 5 more BO3s today after this.
It gives a lot of breathing space for G2 to then start to put the pincers in, and that's where things start spiraling rapidly out of control. Unfortunately, when you're in that 1vx and there's a bunch of flashes being thrown towards you, not really a lot you can do. Asparagus, they've already
Asparagus ain't winning, brother. What do you mean? This shit's about to be over in one round.
We have to just desperately go for these communications in the round. How do we pull back 3 rounds?
Tough ask, but
is there much time between NA and EU? NA starts at 5 Eastern. I'm honestly thinking about what I want to do because I didn't I don't want to. I have to I'm leaving for a boot camp tomorrow. I still have to pack, but the way they have the schedule, I think the games would all go back to back to back to back. So I'm thinking if I want to,
I think they're just starting to change the pace here, Grace.
Not watch the next match and then turn it on for G2, or just turn it back on for NA. I'm undecided.
The KB calls come through as well, just to try and weed out some of these players and find out where exactly they are. Uno's already inside, he's already there, he's found himself a double as well, just decides to go in the gap at the top floor. Doki's also found Packbill. It's looking like it's really starting to unravel here for Asparagus. Rexon and Hungry have it all on their shoulders to keep themselves in this upper bracket, but it's done. It's Loira Demon to finish it, and it is
all right, G2 gonna win this one.
From G2. They are absolute perfection on Cafe, and they're the first name in the finals of the LCQs for SI.
The big doggy dogs of G2, a flawless
I kind of think G2 are going to smoke everyone.
Dominant map for them. Albeit, I will add again, the Skyscraper a little bit closer, but at the end of the day, this is G2. They showed up and did what they do best.
Yeah, but my packing is I still have to do laundry and stuff, so I don't really want. It'll take longer, I think, than that.
Where you're getting a bit flustered, you're overthinking things, and we're going to capitalize.
Because I definitely want to watch the NA one. I don't really care about EU. I think G2 are going to win. And honestly, I think Wildcard will win easily later. But
before we get to that, we'll invite our good friend Milos back into the discussion to try and have a little breakdown. Hello, Milos. How are you getting on?
Hello. And what can I say other than, wow, that was a very much G2-sided Kevin Dostoevsky. At the end of the day, their experience really trumped whatever Asparagus can kind of throw at them, and they absolutely did try it, but holding that composure, G2 just looked excellent. A flawless round to close it out at the end. I mean, valiant effort, but at the end of the day, is G2 that move on to the grand final, and everybody being active on this squad today. We were talking about this. I think you mentioned it, Cham, when we came in the map bans phase. We're like, you know what? G2 are not playing. They know exactly what they're trying to do in this case, and definitely look like it.
Yeah, absolutely. When I seen the map bans come through, I was like, yeah, I think G2 have this one on paper. I think, yeah, despite the fact that Asparagus have managed to get onto a map that, yes, they do favour, they do like, this suits G2's playstyle to a T. Lots of windows, lots of opportunity for jump outs, and we've seen it so many times. And then on the attack, they can just make quick work of things. They'll find the gap, they'll seize it. There's so much things to be worried about on Cafe. Such a condensed map that it just played perfectly for them. G2, wonderful performance from them today.
glad you brought up a kind of inkling around the share of lifting, I think, on the side of G2. I think that was very evident even on map number 1. 3 of the players had a 0.83 KPR. On the side of Asparagus, it was mostly Rexhunt in that map doing the heavy lifting, also on that 0.83. On Cafe, it was very much the same vibe. You know, G2 really sharing the load,
What is that, like,
sharing
beeping?
that payload
Jesus.
together of, okay, can we all go in? Can
I
we get
feel like
these
I'm getting
picks under our belts?
flashbang
Can we
IRL.
time things perfectly and do a lot of heavy lifting individually? And again, on the side of
Go to the
Asparagus, it
restroom, be
really
back.
did come down to just Rexhunt having these really incredible moments of just trying to fight fire with fire, essentially, in terms of aggression against G2. And I think that's something that Asparagus really need to be careful about going forward. It's how much they're all kind of playing together as a team. And I do understand that, yes, you do have, you know, Packball now thrown in the mix. This roster in its current iteration is still very young itself, but that backbone is that Project X backbone, and they should be communicating a lot better with one another and kind of doing, again, more of a shared lift there.
Absolutely, and we're going to dig into that in just a moment here before we go into our break, but I have a few questions to ask Doki, or G2, so let's get into it.
Hello.
Hello again, Doki. We see one another one more time, and maybe there'll be a third time through it. We'll see. Yeah, it's a great song, right? The incredible song. However, Victorious, I mean, map ends, Chandler was talking about it. It looked like you guys are completely locked into it. You're picking into what was comfortable for you. But talk to me about map 1 and how it was such a close and a return, almost slipping into OT and even a loss there in Sky.
Yeah, I mean, the score-wise, I think was pretty close, but I think the game was totally in our control. Like, 4 Sky attacks is kind of unheard of, so it's like, in my mind, the game's already won. Even if we go overtime, it's like, that's crazy. So, yeah, they played good in their attacks, to be honest. They got some good individual plays that really caught us off guard. I think the ace on Geisha won them like 2 rounds in a row. And, you know, if he didn't do that, it could be a different story. It could be looking at a 7-2, 7-3, something like that. So, but yeah, like, prep to those guys. They did good on their attacks. They definitely understand how to play Skyscraper. Not so sure about Cafe, but yeah.
Yeah, that's those are other questions to ask there. It looked like you guys were fully locked into it. Like, everything was flowing well, at least from us observing it on the outside. Was that the case also in comms and from your mind?
Yeah, I mean, we're historically so good at Sky and Cafe, so obviously we're going to be relatively happy with that map ban. But we are prepared for any map to play today, apart from the ones we banned, of course. So, yeah, props to cameraman, our new coach, as well as Ramalho. They've both been working a lot with Uno, who's, if people don't know, he's now IGL for us instead of Alamau. So those 3 guys were working a lot last night to prepare for Asparagus and Matchgo. So, yeah, like, they've put in a lot of extra work, and I think it's shown in the server. Like, I literally don't even need to do anything. I just listen and do what I'm told, and it's good. So, yeah.
Actually, I want to ask you about that, because that is a big shift over how things kind of were handled over the past couple of years, where Alamau calling mostly, things being different. How is it now with cameraman? One, obviously someone with an insane amount of experience playing, plus how that all factors together with Ramalho and Uno in the game itself. I'm curious.
Well, the reason we changed the IGL was like 2 reasons. Carl or Alamau wanted to step back from it because he felt that the role that he's playing in the game right now, which is kind of entry luck role, doesn't suit the IGL for our team anymore, and he can't focus so much. Whereas Uno, who's playing your Monties, Thermites, support operators, he can see the bigger picture a lot more, and he has a more commanding voice. And he's obviously really smart, Uno. Like, he's been a player for a long time, so he knows the game. So that's the kind of reason we made that change. It allows Alamau mainly to play better. He doesn't need to think about the whole team. He can focus on his role, and nothing really changes for Uno. Like, he's been doing that role for years now. He just can have a bit more control, which he likes. So yeah, that's the reason behind that.
Honestly, it's beautiful to say. I remember in the days where even it was Pengu and Uno on the same squad, where Pengu would say, you know, when Uno dies, Uno dead and on cams is better a player than most people will ever be. It's just,
he's really good at that. Yeah, he's really good at that, and like coordinating stuff, and like his brain works really fast. Like, he might be getting on in the years, but he's still thinking sharp.
it's the strategy. It's the strategy game kind of part of the brain that starts developing as you get older. You'll get to it eventually, Doki.
I'm getting there.
Same, buddy. Though now with this victory, you're one win away from the Invitational. So what's the next step? What are you going to do now? Of course, both Machiko and Asparagus, you've beat at this point. They're playing one another in a bit. What are you doing in this time?
I think we'll take some time, chill, eat a bit, keep warm in the server, watch the game. Of course, we've already did all the work for both teams. Maybe make some slight changes if we want to change some things. But apart from that, we're ready to go. Just want to play, to be honest. It's kind of boring, so let's hurry up.
Fair enough. You know what? I'm going to leave you to it then. Go get ready. We're going to hurry up into the game, and hopefully we'll remember to press the button to get started ASAP.
Yeah.
Doki,
I'll talk to you later.
Congrats. I will talk to you later. Well, we'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see. But anyways, there it is. Doki, thanks so much for joining us. And again, congrats on making it to the grand final of the LCQs. However, we have one game to go through, really. Before we head into that final, we have to see who plays G2, and it'll be a rematch regardless here. Asparagus, Machiko will talk about how they face up against one another in a bit, but let's round this game out, Grace. Loira on top once more.
Absolutely, and again, a 73% cost, so it's not just this idea of getting those picks under your belt, it's the impactful picks as well.
Uno is now the
really
IGL.
Dominating throughout this server, and at the same time, we have
amazing.
We keep
I'm pretty sure
highlighting
he's been
Rexon, but it is for
IGLing,
good
no?
reason. Like, I really do think he's done a lot
Was
of
that
heavy
a recent
lifting
change?
throughout the entire qualifiers, and even previously, before even the SI LCQs. He's a really good asset to that roster. At the end of the day, it's G2. It's G2. I don't think we can fault any of them, really. I love the fact that Loira is still absolutely heavy hitting. Again, I think a lot of people were excited to see how he would fall into this roster back in summer. And he's just been phenomenal, and I don't think that's going to stop. And I don't know. I'm not going to say it because I might jinx him, actually. Never mind.
I'm just
careful.
so
Sandra's
happy.
watching.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm so happy for Loira, by the way. I'm just so happy. Doki's mentioning the age there, by the way. There's 10 years between Uno and Loira right now. Uno is 29 and Loira 19, so there is quite the gap. So I get that change. I actually spotted that yesterday, the change. I seen a line on Wikipedia and I was like, wait a minute, Uno's the in-game leader now? So I'm glad that Doki brought that up, and the system, because the system seems to be showing that Alamau is on this looser role, is taking that kind of back kind of area, and is just able to just kind of push in and kind of get frags and kind of play the lurky role. So I'm kind of glad that that's happening. But Loira, man, just so glad that they're locking in the MVPs. I knew they were one to watch for the weekend, and I just feel so full of joy that that's been their weekend.
It makes so much sense when you think about it, because both Alamau and Loira, Alamau is kind of guiding Loira through his professional career now, and them being this duo that are opening every single round, the spearhead, the tip of the spear for G2, it fits so well there in this case. And kudos to Alamau for realizing that, hey, it's probably better for me to give this position up. It's like he takes a step back to the front. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it fits so well, and I'm here for it. I think this is a change.
Uno
a
IGL,
long time
yes,
ago, maybe,
chills.
Yeah.
Hey, now we get to see it in action, and it's gotten G2 to the grand final.
If
but they're
Uno
not
can
out of the woods
defeat
just yet.
Asparagus
and
as
Machiko
IGL,
still have a
I don't
game to
know
go
what he
between
can't
them.
do.
Another best of 3 to see who
Is how I would
gets
put
into
it.
that final and face off
Asparagus
against G2.
had no
Both teams have
answers
taken
for
Ls
Uno.
to G2 so far in the bracket.
How would anyone
There's
else?
still one shot, and it's all about who's better on the day and in the game. Grace, Jam, I mean, it's been a pleasure having you here. Anything you'd like to say now? I guess your watch has ended over this bracket.
Yeah, that's it that's going to be it from us today.
Is Uno the GOAT?
I don't know, G2's new.
In terms of
Jersey drops
IGLs,
tomorrow,
I think it's
So if you're
probably
looking for,
Uno,
to support them,
Alamau,
I guess you
and then
do that.
Canadian.
So, I don't know.
Yeah, I'm really excited to watch the Asparagus Machiko game for so many reasons. Like, I don't even know where to begin with that one. I think Asparagus are going to be licking their wounds a little bit after that. I think they themselves maybe expected that they would go against Machiko. Both teams would have potentially prepared for that too. So it'll be really interesting to see what's brought to the table, especially in terms of those map plans. It's looking a little bit spicy.
Yeah, I think that's going to be a real teeth grinder there to get through in the lower bracket final. But hey, we'll see. We got to have a chat with Toki, our up and
then
player,
Mr. B is fourth.
Some have been mentioning.
Although
with a T.
I've said this before, but did you guys know that Mr. B once tried out for Dark Zero when Canadian was on the team, and Mr. B had never been in Pro League. And Mr. B, after the scrim, told Canadian that he didn't think he wanted to win enough.
Yeah. The best teams in EU in this qualifier.
Mr. B said he didn't feel like they wanted to win.
Again, DNX's birthday, so make sure that you wish her happy birthday.
That's like, that's like honestly, that's like such delusional, like. Like, that's insane to say that to Canadian. Yeah, he doesn't want to win. He's just in it for it to hang out. 20 minutes? Okay. Am I honestly gonna sit here for 20 minutes to watch Asparagus and Mako? Ain't no fucking way. 20 minutes? Are you kidding? Who's winning? I mean, Mako should win 2-0. What the fuck? These guys are horrible. I don't know how the fuck Ben's team lost to them. They must have been fucking shitting themselves. Hold on, I have to think about what I want to do. Do you think Hungry can do it, or are you just rooting for Hungry to do it so you have an easier match? Because I think it's the latter. I think you just would prefer the easier match. NA is at 5. The grand finals here is at 11. Like, goddamn, dude. Why they make this shit so late? What time is this for EU? What time is the finals for EU? I guess it's the same, right? This is pretty late for EU. Get his ass, Will. Cafe Consulate Border. It's 3 p.m. in EU. Oh, so it's not nearly as late. Why the fuck is the NA one so late? I guess because they don't have them starting at 7 a.m. They have them starting at 5 p.m. for some reason. Why did these guys have 3 coaches? What is head coach, offensive coordinator, defensive coordinator? Do I think M80 will be good? From what I've seen, I think they're better. They're better than the team they just had. I don't think they're better than us or SSG though. But it's better than they were. The fuck is this? Oh. VP come for the hammer? Maybe. They turn up on land for sure. They're higher seeded than we are, I think. I think they finished higher seeded. Yeah, they did. What is this, like, fucking jungle music, dude? Unironically, the two best teams that we have scrimmed, and we've scrimmed teams going to SI, obviously, and internationally. The two best teams we've scrimmed is Hot and Cold's team and Wildcard. Now that's scrims, so I don't know if that means anything, but they are the two best teams we've scrimmed. Wildcard and Hot and Cold team. Could just mean nothing at all, but we're also not as good in scrims as we are in matches, like, ever, for whatever reason, but... Yeah, because Canadian doesn't want to win in scrims. No, I think we approach scrims a bit differently. We're not practicing for what we do. We're practicing for what they do. So it's a little different. God damn, there's a lot of birthdays today. Kanto is 26. Fox is 25. Fox is only 25? Why is he retired? I'm 6 feet from the edge and I'm thinking that maybe 6 feet ain't so far down. Cafe Consulate Border, yeah, I saw that. I'm just deciding if I actually want to watch it or not. TBH. In the meantime, let's see how Tom Brady prepares for an NFL game.
Place that you had a little bit of trouble. Why do you bring up my troubles in Miami? Losing record there, I think, right? Enough. Let me just give a little personal advice from my experience down here. Taylor, it's humid down here. You got a long set. It's a 4-quarter game. Save a little something for the end. That's what I never did.
I think she has more people in the stadium than you guys also. So.
Hey, she wins every night.
Let me ask y'all something, okay? See Tom Brady's fit here? He's got pants, a white tee tucked into his pants. Is this a good fit or a dad fit? He's got a baseball cap, a white tee tucked into his pants. What do we think about that? What is he? He's bench pressing 25s? Are those 25s? Fucking weakling. Oh my God. He's lucky I was in the NFL. I would have taken his head off. Are you kidding me?
We should get under the bar sometime. It'll feel lighter.
What's up, Laser?
I look like I have shoulder pads on, don't I?
Playing at a high level. Niners are second in the league in passing. We got that.
You know, it's like we go out as athletes onto the field. It's kind of the same way now that I'm approaching it.
Sneaky good athleticism to escape trouble.
Got all that?
Debo will help here if they need him. He's a chameleon when needed. Garendo.
I like that about him. It's literally the complete opposite defense. It's not simple. It's not just your front foot.
Yeah.
For the game, I get pretty fired up.
Still.
Get myself in the right frame of mind, yeah. Because it's still, you got to go out there and perform.
Yeah.
You got to lock in for 3 hours.
Is that the first?
When did I shave? I don't know, a couple days ago.
Life, yeah.
Good game, don't go crazy.
Keep it safe. My day and my way. No, 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 no.
Love the singing.
Damn that. We're gonna have to talk to Maddie. He says all the right things. He does all the right things. What a performer he is. The Chiefs are lucky to have him.
Nice job. Thanks, buddy.
Thanks, guys. Back to it.
Let's f***ing go. Big f***ing game day, boys. Let's go get it done.
The 49ers got crushed. The Chiefs won.
You think the Lions are going to beat them?
I think the Lions are pretty freaking good.
How we feeling?
I'm feeling better than after week 1.
I think in the end, really trying to
I shave with my fingers. I just scrape it off.
Educating a little, having a lot of fun, and then telling some fun stories. And I got the best partner in the world, Kevin, and Aaron, Tom, the whole crew, Richie, Rich. They do such a great job kind of facilitating all this. So what a fun journey it's been. It's gone really
Seattle next week?
Yes, it's Seattle, Buffalo. It should be a great environment. Buffalo's playing good. Seattle played pretty good today. Maybe we get a close one. Well,
Oh no. What have I decided to do? I don't know. The problem is, like, I need to do laundry too, so I might just do laundry while we're watching, and then we'll see. I'm 6 feet from the edge, and I'm thinking. What's up, Sconty? How's it going?
So listen, today's gonna be hard. Let's all go home with
How's
the
the
7 iron
game?
fingers that we came with. Let's get it.
Not too good, honestly.
When my wife passed and I left the Royal Marines, a lot of people would have given up on me. You gave me a job. You were patient with me. You, Carla, Jenny, you're my family. Excuse me, it's not your business. I'm good, boss.
Levin, was that some military shit?
Hey, you didn't see anything.
Just get my back if I ever need it.
Hey, Willow.
Jenny's missing.
She went out with her friends on Friday.
The police don't
I've
have
never
the
played that,
resources to work
Zygex.
these cases. They take a report and forget about it.
Oh, you got promoted? Hell yeah. Congratulations.
Where's the girl? You a cop? You wish I was a cop.
Yo, these guys are next level.
look at those bricks. You ain't a cop. You're a working man.
That's right. Let's play. This isn't just some
You saw a thing online.
This is human trafficking.
Well, the Rock's movies lately have been horrible.
Buddy that doesn't know he's blind. That's the one. You shot a foot to the left, I'll be dead.
I wanted you dead, you'd be dead. I will be your weapon sommelier for this evening. This is the real beast here. M14, pulled direct from Saddam's palace. Then I added a Bluetooth scope.
A Bluetooth scope?
Where is she?
There's a special place, high rollers only. They can do anything as long as they pay.
Gangs, the mob, corrupt government officials, they're all involved in human trafficking.
Deputy Harris? Daryl Booth. Hope you like flying. I never flew a fugitive before.
Government witness, not a fugitive.
Ready to go?
Is it always this bumpy?
You get used to it. Moretti's very disappointed in you, and he wants you dead.
Oh, shh.
Mayday, mayday. We've been compromised. Tell me how to fly this thing.
What is wrong with his hair? What is wrong with Mark Wahlberg's hair?
Damn it!
I'm gonna enjoy this.
Look at Mark Wahlberg's hair. Is Squid Game season 2 good? Yeah, I think it's pretty good, but it's like a part 1. It's like a 2-part season, I think.
Crypto. Home. Take me home.
Superman.
I haven't seen the new Joker movie. Why did Clark Kent get so much time on the Superman trailer? Not sure.
Where are you off to?
Black bag.
Right. You asked how it works. To be with someone in this business, this is how.
The U.S. government doesn't tell citizens anything.
You know what you'll do, and you never discuss certain things again. I watch her, I assume she watches me. I would do anything for you.
Would you?
Yes.
If a situation presents itself, would you choose your marriage over everything else?
My devotion to my marriage is my professional weakness. Love you.
You got a breach. What did you do?
One of our people stole something.
Something extremely valuable. You cannot imagine the damage. Find the leak.
How long do you think you'll need? Give me 2 weeks.
Thousands of innocent people will die.
Okay, 1 week. Who's the suspect?
Your wife.
I
can feel when you're watching me.
Sorry.
I like it.
When you can lie about everything, when you can deny everything, how do you tell the truth about anything?
I need a satellite redirect, but this has to be unofficial.
You are one naughty husband, George.
You think this isn't normal? The way you're doing this, just so you know.
What's on the menu?
Fun and games.
Is it true? No one can lie to you?
I don't like liars.
If it is Catherine, do you really think you can do it?
I don't know.
Maybe this is all your greatest game, George.
It's a very dangerous line of work.
I'll say.
Would you kill for me, George? Would you?
That has good actors in it.
Basically, the start of February when everything kicks off, but we still have to select a team from EU. And there's 3 teams left in that conversation. We saw G2 making it to the grand final.
Welcome home, Cuddlebug.
Hey, Dad.
Who's in the house?
Daddy's in the house.
Big Papa's in the house.
Woo!
Tell them I'll be there in 3 minutes. Okay, bye.
Margot, Peyton's gonna be here for his pitch any minute now.
Hi, wait, I didn't realize you were coming so soon.
How's everything?
We're getting married.
My baby sister's engaged. I'm engaged.
Ah!
You're gonna be my brother-in-law.
Oh my God, it's Peyton Manning.
Oh yeah, but Peyton Manning can wait.
I can't wait to plan this.
I'm gonna plan your wedding.
How about June 1st? Honey, do we know her?
Okay, well, I'm gonna go check us in.
I'm gonna go get us checked in. Oh no. We've double booked your weddings. What? Are you the wedding planner? You never even called this place?
I have social anxiety.
You get anxiety from dialing a phone?
I can do anything that doesn't require a phone call.
Listen, you're gonna have the greatest weekend of your lives.
My sweet little pumpkin's gonna have her special day, and no one's getting in the way of that. Hey!
I didn't realize it was a shared bathroom situation.
I'm just finishing up her hair. Happy to work on yours if you'd like. Give you a cute little flip.
Waste time with the masterpiece. Waste time with the masterpiece.
He is using up all of our sunset. Half of the sunset is gone. Sunset.
Sorry for a little late.
Did he just wink at me?
But you move so carefully. Let's start living.
Stop it! Stop it!
What?
Nothing. You better back off.
I'm not gonna back off.
We're gonna go chaos monkey on his ass. Get the cake!
It's a trap!
This should be good.
You're the most important person in my life.
I'll always be in your corner. I caught this guy and I was gonna unleash him, but then I wrestled him too hard. Now I think he's dead.
That's not dead.
Well, you don't know. Oh. Okay.
Pick it up!
See you later, alligator. Do we?
That's stupid. What? See you later, alligator.
Estimates, and the teams that have underestimated them so far have done so at their peril. The big thing for me is they're a reactive team. They're playing against a team that know them inside and out, as they've been coached by the same coach. They've played together under the Wild banner in the past. So Asparagus will need to change things up just a little bit and play more into that.
No, I haven't. Up the smoke.
If they want to get over this hurdle.
With Hungry on the helm, though, I don't think they're going to change their ways at all. Expect a lot of Ying, a lot of Sense, a lot of Grim, a lot of Route 1 style of play. Every team Hungry plays on. That's the mindset that they bring, and it has worked.
Oh, wait, hold on. I do want to watch this, because I saw this just came out on Netflix.
What do you think's out there?
I was wondering if this is good or not.
Your father.
There's war brewing in this territory. Brigham Young trying to make his kingdom. President tries to stomp it out. These natives here don't murder you. You got the Wasatch Mountain Range. Grizzlies, wolves, riled up Mormons.
We are the chosen!
This doesn't seem to be a world that favors a woman on her own.
Civilization and civilized, two different words entirely. Heading west is a mistake.
I have no choice. Where are you taking us?
You don't listen.
Oh, I listen. I just don't trust you.
We set out at first light. One step closer to the life I promised you.
Someday, this entire American continent will be ours.
Why do your people have so much hunger to kill?
Fear. Everything I've done, it's been for him.
Whatever you've done to protect you both, ain't no sin in that.
That show's supposed to be good. I know it just came out.
Stint inside Tier 1 with Wild, and of course, a lot of these players did make that miracle run all the way back to an Invitational through qualifiers not too long ago. Well, kind of long at this point.
Yeah, but, you know, it's only 2 open qualifiers ago, I guess you could say, because we didn't have one last year, so it's a team with a ton of experience as well. A lot of people in the T2, the European scene, are going to know all these players. A lot of Tier 1 players might not realize, or Tier 1 fans, that the former CAD coach, Hybrid, is at the wheel here as well, as he is a coach who is very big on counter-stratting, very big on understanding all the intricacies of the teams they're playing against. And a little bit of gossip, a little bit of tea that we got was last Sunday, teams had the opportunity of playing best of ones for the seeding going into this. This is a team that pushed hard to have those games be best of threes and to choose every single map in the pool that they could, just so they could get tape on all of the teams and understand how all the teams will play these maps. Now, whether or not these teams showed anything in those games, I don't know, but it just goes to show how much prep they've put into this.
Honestly, that is another level of dedication, to say the least, to the craft itself. However, you speak of maps and map pool, let's kind of bring it up and see what we're going to be working with for this series. Again, a best of 3 until the very end. And what do we get? Chalet's out, Sky as well, Bank is out, and that also means Club is out. Okay, we'll head into Cafe and Consulate, and please, Whippet, can you please guide us through the rest and why you think this is a good decision or not?
Well, the final 2 bans, Nighthaven Labs and Lair, don't make the cut. And the maps that we have been left with, well, are we even surprised at this point? It's Asparagus, they're going to be picking Cafe time and time again. It's not a lot of teams' favourite maps, and guarantee a lot of people in rank don't like to play it either, but they have a very direct style of play, and this map enables it. So that's almost a guarantee for them. There's a massively high preference. Matchco have done the same thing. A map that they're comfortable on, they have dominant performances on, they had a victory on it yesterday as well. So these 2 maps, high preference for both of them. Expect, if this follows the script in my head, this should be each team takes their own map choice going into it, leaving us a border for that final decider, and a map that requires you to be a little bit more active with your rifles, but still have a sound strategic head. I think Matchco have won this map ban, actually. I do think if we need all 3 maps, border's going to favor this side.
Have any of you ever watched G2-120? They're in the finals. They play the winner of this. Have any of you ever watched the Traders?
It's their first ban. I have that it's a perma ban for Matchco on Sky. They've banned it straight off the bat. And then I said that Asparagus are going to try to force Clubhouse or Cafe or both. No surprise to see Matchco get rid of Clubhouse before Asparagus could make that pick. And then finishing up on Border, it's no surprise that we're going to go there at the end. Both these teams know how to play it. Both these teams have played it during quals. And all in all, it's a great bare knuckle fight to go to at the very end if we get that 3rd map.
So that's the question, because I actually think that of the 2 games that are left right now in the LCQs, this is one that I expect to go into a map 3. Maybe not so much the grand final, given how kind of G2 has worked themselves around both of these squads. But if anything, this has to be a big proving ground for both of these squads. And I'm really excited about it. I really want to know who has an advantage.
I know how to make an entrance. From cutthroat reality stars to celebrities turned master strategists. Who will win $250,000?
Show me the money.
I might knock him dead by my look, but I'm not a traitor.
You would think I'm your best friend when in fact I'm here to destroy you.
I have instincts about people. I'm here to play, I'm here to win.
I'm girding my loins for battle.
People keep spreading this gossip that I'm selfish. Let's just be real. I'm dangerous. Everyone is frantic.
Go, go, go! I don't trust anyone anymore.
I'm trying to win. I've got Jordan blood in my DNA, and we like to win at all costs.
I want to prove in this game that I'm not someone that can be manipulated.
I'm a poisonous spider crawling up to get you when you least expect it.
Pray for me.
Looking at this team as a whole, I am terrified. This is my worst nightmare. This is a lot.
I'm definitely gonna be queen of this castle.
I came here to play the best game you've ever seen.
I'm gonna kick ass and take names.
Come on! We have to banish a traitor.
Your eye twitches.
I smell bull.
This game just got insane.
Whip just gone and like he's literally gone and put ITB in the thick of it without even playing today. It's not fair on ITB, but I kind of, if you're thinking about Matchco, everything Whippet said definitely applies to this one. But on the other side of the scale, if you're looking at Asparagus and you want to get some, good vibes about them going into this game, well, first off,
I tip my hat to one legend to another.
I would love to see him perform very, very well going into this one. But with seeing what these players could do, I feel like this is going to be a very good matchup, and I bet you G2 hope this goes all 3 maps.
I mean, G2 are just watching this. They're sipping on hot cocoa going through it. So
I'm hoping this doesn't go 3 maps. I'll tell you that much.
Go to map 3, but as always,
that sounds like a nightmare.
To get there.
3 maps of
maybe. Cafe Dossier is up first, please. Gibby, whip
and asparagus.
Thank you very much, Milosh. It's been a long time since I got to say that one, Gibby. Normally you take the handoffs for it, but diving in the cafe, Matchco have made a massive statement ban saying, Hungary, you're not playing sense. Get that away. We don't want that operator to play. We saw how effective it was against G2 on Skyscraper, getting them some executes to work their way, especially that one out towards Karaoke. They don't want to take that risk again. And watch the bans from Matchco here. Very much will be directed at slowing down the very aggressive, very Route 1 style of Asparagus. Expect even a Maestro ban here from the defensive Matchco.
G2 ban sense too, so they must have some.
Castle taken away, and I like
they
that
must
one,
be
Gibby.
like a crutch. They must crutch that shit or something.
Brava being banned means that you're forcing Matchco to potentially ban that Maestro to get rid of those.
I don't have a bracket command, but if you just go to Wikipedia, but there's only 3 teams left. It's these 2 teams, and then G2's in the final. So basically, the winner just plays G2.
Allowing players to play inside of Humidor. That's not going to be a possibility anymore. Maestro
is the finals a best of 5 or a best of 3?
And you're wondering why are they banning Maestro? It's because Brava has been banned. Maestro is essentially a non-factor when Brava is in play, but when Brava's banned, you gotta ban Maestro.
Really, from what I see from this ban
that's
phase going into it,
there's
directed bans out towards the Sens, for example, and the Bravo was picked to try and...
Yeah, I'm glad it's a best of 3. Best of 5 would be too much. That'd be a lot to ask the teams to play up to 3 best of 3s in a day with 1 best of 5. That'd be a lot.
One of the very core pillars of what this team brings out, the Evil Eyes on the Maestro. So, it might not look like the normal ban phase that we have seen throughout this bracket, but remember, we are now in the lower bracket grand final. Many of these teams have seen a lot of tape, they have a lot of experience, and now they're banning more on preference what they've seen so far today and yesterday, and even some experience from Qualifiers to get to this stage going into it. Gibby, downstairs to go for middle force site defense from Matchco. What are you expecting from them here?
Well, you see a lot of pressure on the top floor, both by Asparagus and Matchco, as they try to make their way through the map from the top to the bottom, get vertical control inside of Library itself, and usually you'll see an attempted plant on that door. The attacking lineup from Asparagus very much shouts out that that's what they're going to do.
They must think they just played bad, because they played ITB on this map yesterday and smoked them, but
and then with Hungry and Grim being used by
no idea.
You're going to be able to make the push over towards Cocktail. All in all, It's a nice game of chess that's been set up in the early stages. The ace in the pack, though, is going to be Teb on the pulse, playing below, and feeding that information to the team, and not to mention that C4 in the hand.
Yeah, it could be a massive impact. Again, right now from Teb, it's going to be no information is still information. You will see one heartbeat off in the distance, and that will give some construction, some idea of what this push might look like in the early stages of it. On the offensive lineup of Asparagus, we do see Hungry donning that Ying, and there's no surprise to that one. Expect a lot of prevalence from Grim and Ying from this side. They have had a preference to bring a lot of Flores, and that's going to be a big thing for me, Gibby. This team likes to go direct, so what does Flores do? Well, clears that utility before you even have to enter that building. Those Rotero drones have a massive impact for this team. Again, that DNA of a hungry IGL side essentially coming in for this one. So, and Rexon donning the Ash. You've had such a success with the end of your rifle, you may as well keep that going. The R4C, a trusty tool to get that done. Combination with the breaching charge to get some hot soft destruction as well. So I like this lineup from both these teams. Slow start from the minute 50. No engagement yet. No entryway made from Asparagus, but they're still joining things out, figuring this out. Drone economy looks good. Only 2 lost. Well, make that 3 now. So still lots of eyes to work with on the ground.
Information is how Asparagus won their matchup yesterday, and you can see them keeping the drone safe, droning into the map. On a map like Cafe, that could be difficult to do. But here is the signal of the extent of this push. Smoke grade's going to go up, but there's the first C4 ringing out as Jay will fall. No execute off the back of it then. With that player falling, we're not seeing the hatch drop. You do have control inside a piano, but it slows down the push, and that's all you need to do now from Matchco is keep some pressure up. There's that second C4. Great economy from the explosives so far. We might see another kill come through, and it's not going to go their way. Paschal will get the kill. Rexon gets another whip, and it's a 2v3.
Just like that, that third C4 goes up, doesn't connect on the white stairs, gives a brief opening. Grim shouldn't have won that fight realistically out towards pallets, but that's going to be a freebie. Rex finds one. The camera was very important for that one. Hungry was left on 20 HP from the revival. Rexon has been exceptional so far. 1 versus 3. Has to find a way to save this round here in the opening of Cafe. And this map does lean towards the defense. Not red alert yet for Asparagus.
Uh-oh. Rexon 1v3.
He's going to fall to that one. 2 in the round now for Rexon. Some cheap damage taken via that barbed wire. Case is cold. Very far away. Pushing round will try and give him an extra line of sight to work with. Player close on that door frame should be peeked out wide via the rotate on the door. Does get caught out. Perfect crossfire. And the shotgun to make sure Rexon doesn't have a chance to fight later on this round. So first one wrapped up for Matchco, and very well done from them. They've been watching their tape. They were ready for this one. And you mentioned Hybrid likes the counter-strat teams. Again, Hybrid, the coach of this roster, coming in now. Not coming in from CAG, but had a stint back in Japan with that famous roster. The best in the world, of course, as I would say. And you can see that kind of DNA as well with how they dealt with that one. They had 3 C4s ready. They knew Asparagus would drop in, get aggressive, and they had everything in the right place to deal with that.
Mako's coach was CAG's coach.
Play at the end there as well, because yes, he lost the fight, but it was so clever. He used the Ash charge.
Is he Japanese or is he European?
For him to push up on the white stairs to engage that gunfight. It didn't work, but it was a clever way of using that utility in a different way than's normally intended. And it didn't work out though, of course, because it was a great crossfire held by Matchco in the end. But if that round is a little bit of a taster of what we can expect in this game, it's going to be a lot of fun going into this one.
He's Italian?
I want to point out early on in this
How the fuck was an Italian CAG's coach? How did that happen?
This should scream to everybody.
Is that right? He was CAG's coach?
This is going to be a very extended hold.
Is that why CAG played so stupid? Because they just had no idea what he was ever telling them?
Usually you'll see
what? Aren't they Japanese?
Team to slow that down, but it's not being brought by Matchco this time around. But the whole key for this attack, if you want to push through freezer...
Oh, he was an analyst? Okay, that's a little different. Analyst is a little different than coach.
To enable that drop.
Because he doesn't actually have to talk to them if he's analyst. That's why CAG played the way they do, because their coach is fucking... Their coach is Italian, and they're all Japanese. They just had no idea what he was ever fucking saying.
With their aggressive Route 1 style. And it didn't work in the opening round. It fell extremely flat. They got caught by a check hook, realistically. Packbull donning the Ossa, which is a pickup that is, again, you know, I'd imagine counterintuitive to the aggressive play, but if you want to drop that hatch, that gives you hard cover. That means someone can only have to watch that window or doorway. Limits the angles that you can take that pressure from, so I do like that from them. But again, all this really does focus on getting control of VIP, getting control of that Christmas tree area, meaning that you have that pressure, you can get that drop for free, and you begin the flood sight from that position as well as double door. But so far, Asparagus focusing on that vertical play, going step by step, floor by floor right now, and I like this. A drone ahead of Rexon, enabling that Ash to play a little more comfortable, a little more aggressive, looking for that opening. Again, they're just playing their time, and again, this is a very default but nice and perfect start.
Analyst for
so
CAG and Elevate and Coach's
Jay
Scars.
on the gridlock will have a very important
It's random.
role when it comes to the flank watch as well.
I mean, it's
Throwing out
random that he's
those traps, which will prevent the defenders from pushing up without
Mako's
either A,
coach
taking
now, I
damage,
guess,
or
if he's
B,
been in
making
APAC
noise
forever.
as they clear them. Oh, that little dance will begin now. White being held from VIP by
How you
Dora.
doing, Willow?
You've got the presence as well to prevent the retake from White Stairs on the other side of the coin. As now we will see that hatch become available to be opened up. Now Kaid will try as our colleague would call it, the electro shuffle, but it is going to work. They keep the breach solid. IQ will be able to spot where that electric claw is, but they've only got one more charge left to go. Nade will clear the arcade claw this time around. They can now open that hatch. Whip it at some point, you still have to deal with VIP.
This is a scary one, Gibson, because that single electric claw has now delayed so much time and kind of showed the hand a little bit. Okay, we know we trick this exothermic charge, this hard breach, so now this push is guaranteed. You mentioned VIP is still in contention. The only pressure they have to work with that directly is going to be Rex, who has to take this fight. No one's on the window via bottom brown yet, so this is going to be a very simple fight. And Dora has those keeper barriers to work with. None in pocket, so already deployed them, but is in a great position to slow this down. 30 seconds, less than that now working in this round, and they haven't cleared his army. And that's going to be Packful on the Osa, using that shield to buy that cover. Rexon finds one on Akwi, and now they pounce, clearing VIP. Jay and
Prediction.
Rexon in a crossfire. They need to win this.
Mako
He might get an
2-0.
escape here and find a freebie on the gridlock, and does so. Back to a 4 versus 4, and this trade
What's
is
up,
so
Sully?
important. Unfortunately, doesn't work out for Machko, and the case should go down, but a flurry of chaos in the site upsets that rhythm, and time will be the enemy. A pick from Daya. 0-0 dawning, but the cover is good. Daya finding 3. Asparagus bring themselves level 1 apiece, but whoa, that was a nail biter around, Gibby.
And remember, one of the things that I pointed out was smoke is a
Are
great
they new
operator for
emotes?
preventing that hatch drop. Usually,
I mean,
that's
they've
who
been
you'll
there
have
for a
playing
while,
inside
but
of
I
VIP
guess they would say
or playing over
newer.
by coffee. They didn't have smoke, which meant that if you drop, with the shield, or, as we saw that time with the Osa out, the player in VIP can't stop it. Look, there you go. You can't do anything about it. So that's why you would tend to see a smoke player playing in that position as well, to choke the push out. All in all, lots of credit to Asparagus. They got the job done. They leveled the sides at 1 round apiece, and it forces the side swap again. And this time, Whippet, we're still not going to top floor. We're going to mining and reading this time.
That's going to be a theme this entire game, by the way. Watch Machko be very... Machko do not want to go to the top floor in the slide as Asparagus. Or Asparagus, we should say.
Yeah, Asparagus, come on.
Asparagus, you had this debate earlier.
Yeah, it's goose.
The second, right, chat, I'll ask you a question. Do I pronounce it asparagus as the vegetable, or do I add the extra U in the pronunciation?
Add the U. It's asparagus.
Asparagus? Okay.
Yeah.
It flows a little bit more clumsily, but I respect it. I like it so far. I like the style of this team. But back on track. Machko will be very adverse to going upstairs. They don't want to play the top floor. That's because that is the most susceptible to an aggressive rush play. You can kind of be punished as well down in reading, but that's easier to deny that. So that will be kind of a theme for this one for the opening 6 rounds. And well, round 3 goes away halfway through the opening half of this matchup. Can we see a lead getting broken out here? Machko in the defense still holding on to it, and I will draw your attention to Lolo on the Capcan. We'd love to play a game back in LATAM in stage 2. Gibson, we would always predict who would walk into the Capcan trap. I'll ask you and chat for this round. Who will be the victim of that Capcan trap?
It's so easy. You just say it's going to be Rexon. You always pick the Ash player. Right? 10 times out of 10. We almost see Akwi getting obliterated on the window, but manages to fall back in towards Pixel. But what about you? Do you think it's going to be Rexon, or do you think it's going to be
I asked the
someone else?
question, Gibson. I'm not going to be... You can't turn the table on me, but it's going to be Packbull. So...
It's a conversation, not an interview, mate. Come on.
Gibson, you've done enough podcasting in your day. It terrifies me when you ask me a question.
Don't worry, you'll not get in trouble. Anyway, getting back into the game, Whippet. We've got full information onto Akwi. Playing inside the bathroom, the smoke will push off the planks, rotate as Teb, though, will manage to get a quick double.
Fuck?
As he's just out. He's in
He
the thick of
can't-
it, as you would say. Gibby,
the
here.
wall's
Not a lot
glitched.
he can do. Caught by Hungry.
The wall was
Teb,
bugged. We couldn't
2-4.
get back inside.
Rexon finds a way to bring that back. Repelled in via heaven. No aggressive swing from that mirror. Rexon finds a second one, and this is where you have a player who can just use his rifle.
Is
to
Rexon
find
just better
openings
than
like
all
that,
these
and that's very
guys?
well
Is that
done
what
indeed.
we're saying here?
Back to advantage now from Asparagus. Utility in hand. Hungry with actually no bees to work with either. No air jabs. Only 2 breaching rounds on the Ash, so it's going to be relying on information. Drone Eco seems good as well. 2 flashbangs, 1 smoke, and 2 sets of pocket EMPs to work with. Not the greatest set of utility to make this work.
minute and 10 seconds to go. Still garnering intel. This is what Asparagus
This guy's
have been
cracked.
very
Yeah, he's pretty
at
good.
in the games that they've won.
He didn't.
Working out where these defenders are.
I think he did
Cap
okay
can
against
identify
G2.
now inside
He
the
went
library. The
26
white
and
arrow
9 yesterday
confirmed that he's
against
still in that
Citizens
position
team.
as the other player still lines in reading room. Remember, this of course is not the site you want to push over towards.
I don't think he
mining,
was
which
playing
is
Ash
right
though.
above that
Maybe they were
rotate,
just like,
extra
let's give
rotate
this guy a
in
gun
the fireplace.
after they got
45
smoked.
seconds to go, and a numerical advantage in the hands of Asparagus. It's not, stretched to say that they'll edge this out a little bit longer. There's a lot of time to work with, but
I have no
that
idea what the
cap
record
right
would
there,
be for something
those
like
two on
that.
the door in towards trains could be the problem.
You're reading my mind, Gibby. You're reading my mind with that one. At this moment, you've got under 20 seconds to work a play, and you have Capcan traps scoured across the map. And you got to be worried if you make a last gasp dive around the inside, you might find yourself detonating from an ankle bite. So 15 seconds, timer will turn red momentarily. A match go with one player down. Can they hold that line? Flashbang good. The mirror windows are going to be even better. They'll choke this play out. Rexon finds himself a third and alone. Frost tries to get that done. Mad Hot Dwarf gets one, but unfortunately, the merchant of 1vx's can't find it as Rexon just too hot here on Cafe, and the lead goes for Asparagus yet again. But a back and forth matchup and very narrow margins indeed. I'm going to highlight though Teb's aggressive play, a double peak, double kill early via run out down via bottom white stairs. That almost upset the rhythm. Hungry done a great job getting that try, and Rexon from that moment took charge and won every gunfight presented. So Asparagus, great position, great recovery in that round. Look at this. Difficult fight, only catch the tail end of it, but that was a near dangerous moment. That could have been the round curtain called very early.
It's an awesome play.
Oh, the
only thing
Shaiko
that
skin?
I think maybe caught him out was the fact there was a third player. How often is there three there? Usually there's two, but you get the three. Oh,
Gibby, I mentioned, right, listen, Gibby, I said I was going to say
Sound
it.
bug,
That's an M80 timeout
rehost.
right there. So a nice little classic from it. So we can
He
take a
called
little
it
bit
an
of
M80
digest,
timeout.
we can digest that round a little bit, Gibby. Asparagus, I'm sat down there, by the way. Hello.
tiny whippet. He is that small, by the way. He usually has a box that he stands on when he works.
I look so small now. This is horrifying. Hello. I don't want to like move my desk up now because this would make me even more awkward. But
POV, you're in the audience seeing us two cast at a LAN. Anyway, let's talk about that game and what we've seen so far with it. First off, the game of chess began with the bans, right? So you think about the fact that we got the Brava ban, and then when you ban Castle, you're forcing them to ban the Maestro, and it's kind of a win-win, right? The reason you ban Brava and Castle is because you want to leave an Azami open or you want to leave a Mira open. You're forcing the other team to make that decision, and I feel like it was very clever on the side of Asparagus to make those bans. We get into the game though, and we're seeing a level of aggression from Matchco that is more so what we saw from the likes of Teb in his wild time, as opposed to his time with Matchco over the course of this weekend. And I feel like it is a game of both teams.
Yeah, there's a
trying not
Maka
to play
rehost.
the way they normally do at times, because they know the other team knows them inside out.
yeah, I mean at this point though, every team's played each other.
They said they had a
Of
sound
course,
bug.
we're in Europe. It's all
Is that
one
tech?
big scrim community essentially. They've guaranteed got.
Are they
experience.
like the M80 of E EU?
I know you're smirking at me, laughing at how short I look. I'm not this short compared to Gibson normally. But I actually want to circle back to the map ban conversation that you mentioned earlier. We have a Mira and a Zami in play. Both operators that we tend
Be right
to
back, I'm gonna
ban
go
away
swap
from
my
lots of
laundry.
teams. We saw that ITB were very keen to ban away an Azami on this map, for example, as it enables play inside of piano much more effectively. Not as effective as it used to be, but still very strong indeed. With a Mirror, you can play very long angles, and you can play a very disruptive style of play that can be very difficult for people to get control of reading. And actually, you know what, Gibby, you can talk a little bit. I can raise my desk up to normal height now.
Yeah, so again, you look at the highlights of what we've seen so far. It has been a lot of aggression. Rexon was the player that we were speaking about before the game. And again, it isn't Rexon from NA. This is where the Irish accent will confuse some viewers. They'll be like, wait, Rexon playing for Asparagus? Never. But he's taken on that real mantle of being the entry, being the aggressor for the team. You're seeing him playing on Finca, you're seeing him on Ash, operators that essentially are there to be the tip of the spear, and it's working so far in this matchup. He's having himself a game. Look at the scoreline. 7-1, make it 8-1 after just 3 rounds. And when you look, I got caught staring at the monitor then as I watched the highlights. But speaking about the utility usage in this game, that's where Matchco got a lot of their joy. You think of round 1, 2 of the 3 C4s managed to hit pay dirt in the early stages of the round, slowing down Asparagus. I feel like the utility usage are what they need to get the most out of if they want to win this game.
So, one thing I look at, Gibby, so we've seen 3 rounds played at this moment, so it's very difficult to make a full judgment of this lineup. Now, I think it's following thematics of how we expect these teams. You're G2 right now. You got a nice little break, you're sitting down, you're enjoying the vibes. Anything that you're looking at this, of course, guaranteed. They don't want to pick. If we see Asparagus make it through, G2 are going to ban Cafe. Guaranteed that one going into this one. Have we seen these teams show a lot of their hands early? Now, of course, a lot of pressure in these matchups. You want to make it towards that grand final. You can't go to Boston if you're not in the final of the LCQ. But have they exposed themselves? And especially Asparagus, if they make it there, of course, looking a long way in the future, they don't have the deepest of map pools. We've seen that time and time again. They've showed Cafes of high preference. Does that leave them vulnerable to that being banned away if they make it to the grand final?
Maybe. I think G2 are watching this though, and I don't even know who they'd want to win, because we know that they scrim quite a bit with Matchgo. So those 2 teams will know each other.
Leaks, man. That's crazy.
It's not even a leak. It's just, teams scrim each other. Wow, what a surprise! Wait till you find out that teams do map prep. Anyway, I feel like they're watching this game.
I doubt some teams do, Gibby. I'm not gonna lie to you, mate. I've seen some performances in my time. Some teams don't. Well, I mean, Hybrid definitely has.
Yeah, G2 don't need the break, right? They had a wee trip to Finland. They went to see Santa and asked for another Brazilian and got cameraman. So they don't need as much of a break as the other teams do. But another important thing to point out is the idea of going into a game warm, right? Whoever plays in this game, and say for example now if Asparagus win this game, they'll be going to the 3rd best of 3 of the day. If Matchco get a result here, they're going into the game against G2 very warm. G2 will have had a couple of hours off. How much of an advantage is it waiting that time?
Ooh, so this is actually a classic conversation, Gibby, and actually I'm going to break your heart for something here, and it's going to be brutal to remember. Do you remember when NIP won the Invitational against Team Liquid? The thing that caused that to happen was Liquid faded later in the stages after playing a heavy best of 3 beforehand. If we see Asparagus, or we see Matchco, make it all the way there, this is, again, fatigue's a massive factor in this. You're going to go from this matchup going straight into the next one, and you're not going to have a large break. G2 have time to cool off, they have time to think about stuff and begin to prep everything out. But going from a matchup where you have a lot of stakes on the line, you don't want to be in the lower bracket, to then relaxing, going back to a steady state, calming down, and then trying to get back to that level can cause a little bit of a lag from teams. So that will be a factor to keep an eye on going into that one, because these teams are going to come in hot off a matchup. If they don't fade in the latter stages of this best,
they're still not back, dude. Jesus.
Build their momentum. So a factor I always like to bring up, it's not always is an advantage to start off or have that upper bracket if you have to build back up to that momentum. And we're back.
And perfect timing. Your point just ends and we get back into the game. As Rexon says, good luck, have fun once more. I was always told it's rude to say, you're not supposed to say good luck, Will, but I was just told you're supposed to say have fun.
When you have been performing as well as Rexon, you may as well give them some good luck. They might win a gunfight against you. Yeah, I mean, so scoreline diving back to this one on Cafe is going to be a 2-1 advantage for Asparagus. There is a second U there. I will try and get that one locked down for it. And they have done the stylistic approach we expected from this side. And what a surprise, it's Matchco refusing to go upstairs. Reading Dining, the site of choice for number 4 here. Not shocked in the slightest.
Yeah, and it's the bans, right? Whenever you've got Azami in play and, you lose some of the operators, you don't really want to go to the top floor as much as you would have wanted to in the past. But look at the utility again. 3 C4s once more. This was the key the last time that they played on this site, using the C4s from below. Important players in that are going to be Aqua, are going to be Teb. The Valk and the Pulse will feed so much information to the likes of Dora and the rest of those teammates. The rest of the utility weapon, you've got the beepers, you've got the barbed wire. So in essence, every single operator in play from Matchco has a say in the intel or the information game of this very round.
Yeah, I mean, I'll even rewind this a little bit, Gibby. We saw the opening round was played on this very same site. Even the way that we're seeing this start off with Teb on the same position again is kind of the same as the opening round here. There's 3 C4s. That was a very critical win condition for the side of Matchco. They understood that Asparagus aren't going to rush themselves in via mining. They're not going to go via this doors and hell. They're going to go straight upstairs, get that top floor control, use that verticality pressure to then enable something aggressive later on. Anyway, Gemini's going to go out this window eventually.
Yeah, Rainbow Six Vegas series on Xbox though, Kevin. Sab, thank you for the 13 months, bro. Appreciate it. Happy holidays to you too, man. Sorry if I don't see your guys' subs immediately. I have like a multi-stream thing, so it doesn't show me alerts the same.
Rexon
So I can't just see it in like normal chat like I usually do.
Operator on the attack for Asparagus here. Was going 8-1 before the rehost, so the stat line looking pretty good so far on this one. The defenders, you look at the position, you have one player in white stairs. The point of playing in that position.
What's up, Leo? It's 9:48 a.m., but the stream started a little bit before 7 a.m.
Looks
So
like Blackbeard's
been
gonna be
live for a
used to
while.
take control
I mean,
of that
pretty early
head
at
window,
least.
which is not the worst use of the operator's ability at all. Valcam's being spotted as well to slow down the information of the defenders, as they're a little bit cautious with it, because last time they just smoked, they yinged, and the C4 got the kill. This time they're setting up a
That's
little
insane.
bit more,
Why?
trying to do a little bit more smoke and mirrors as well, so that it can't be as easy to read.
Great network of cameras are scoured across the map as well for this team. Again, he's mentioned that C4 threat's a mighty dangerous one. You see the pulse? He's like, alright, I see you over there. Teb, former teammates, of course, between Pacball and Teb on their time in EUL with Wild. Fire Dart goes out to get control of White Stairs on that platform. They gets caught by the Y, and you guess what you're seeing, Gibby? A perfect counter strat from Matchco. They've got every piece of utility that they need, and the pick from Dora. Blackbeard, though, charges on in. Met by a player holding resistance by Pillar, but shuts it down. Tab gets a trade. Daya pops off as well and finds Dora. It's going to be a little bit of chaos here, but locking back in with Valkyrie. Will catch one dropping in the Pillar, and the case goes cold. Pacball needs to hunt down this trade, as Valkyrie, in the hands of Akwi, might escape all the way to mining, and has done so. 35 seconds, Asparagus in recovery mode. One player down. Advantage Matchco here.
And look where the case is. It's in Narnia as well, in the middle of pillars, making it even harder for these attackers to get it safely. Vertical control being held by Lolo. Misses the opportunity, but I believe Pacball has now recovered the case, but finding a safe spot to put it down might just be the issue. Verticality again becoming a factor, but the shots are missed, and they're going to plant on the bomb chassis. Holding White becomes vitally important. First gunfight has to be won. Pressure.
Did ITB look good? No, they got fucking smoked.
No, it doesn't. Aqua's going to rotate on the other side. The case goes down, but there's no one there to defend it. And Matchco will level the sides at 2 rounds apiece. What a back and forward game that was. You can take the teams out of Wild, but you can't take the Wild out of the teams.
That is a tough one, by the way. So Hungry does a lot of things right in that moment, but he was expecting a peak to arrive from Pillar. To me, that indicates that I nearly said Wild, that Asparagus do not have a drone to watch out towards Pillar. So in the middle of that chaos, so drone eco was already pretty poor in that round. Before everything kicked off, they had around like 5 drones left. Unsure if they had like flank watch established at this moment. They were kind of forced into action. Hungry didn't know that peak was coming, didn't know where pressure was arriving from, and had to play reactive off his game sense. Looks away at this moment. Akwe takes that chance to peek out wide, finds one to Pacball, and from that moment Pacball gets the case down, but it is just a moment of time until they shut down Hungry. We bring ourselves back level, and can you believe it, Gibby? What a shocker. We've not went upstairs to Cocktail. We've remained down on the middle floor. This is Matchco being incredibly well prepared for this matchup. This is insane prep from them. Extreme counter from them. The lockout, that aggressive play that Asparagus want on that top floor, and bake them in the full map clears. On this middle floor, you have to clear more of the map, and that slows down that Route 1 style. This is a masterclass of counter strategy from Matchco. Loving it from their perspective so far.
And looking at the setup, we're seeing a little bit of a change in the lineup from Asparagus. IQ being brought again, and I think that that's to spot out those can traps. Maybe get an eye on Teb, because Teb has been a problem so far for Asparagus. Remember, if Teb's using his gadget, IQ will be able to spot out, but the difference is with it, IQ can shoot when the gadget's out, unlike Pulse when he's using his scanner. But Daya once more on the Ying, Hungry on the Grim. Always so many execute heavy operators on the side of Asparagus, with Pacball using the DMR of Dokkaebi as well. When those calls become active a little bit later on in the round, that will be the
My
signal
favorite, Macau, I think.
Or the first,
I mean, to be honest, I think G2 probably smokes both these teams at this point, but
I'm looking at this going, Asparagus seem to be a little bit, I think, annoyed or frustrated by the fact that they're being forced into these full clears. They now have to burn some of that execute utility to get themselves in the building, so expect a smoke grenade or a candela to try and flush out this mirror window out towards Cocktail, and that's going to be a massive kind of annoyance for them. They want to use and dump everything in that final play when they try to get themselves on site to make that case go down. Combination of trap operators as well, bringing out Lolo yet again, picking up the Russian operator on the Capcan. In addition, Dora has done the Canadian on that Frost. So 2 traps on the board. I won't ask you to make that prediction this time around. And what a pick there. Gemini pops
Will I be watching G2 later? Most likely. Not 100%, but most likely. Because the NAL finals are later today, and I want to be able to stream that, but I have stuff I need to do. So I don't want to be... I don't know that I'll be able to get off if I stream all the way through. So we'll see.
This should be a moment for Asparagus to take
As of now, I'm planning to, but I might hop off and then get back on for NA. Who is still in the bracket? These 2 teams, and then the winner of this plays G2 for the spot. But G2 has already beat both these teams in this qual.
Yeah, and you think about the fact there's a C4 below as well. Still, Tab will be able to feed that information when it comes. Yeah, there's 3 Capcan traps on the door. Yeah, there you go. Don't run into that one. Don't forget about the fact there may also be some more mines around for you to step in, but this is a 1 versus 3. Jay has been very good for the side so far over the course of
or if I think this is going to be a long game, I just stop watching this game and maybe come back for G2.
Round is unwinnable. You don't have the case. You don't have a chance. Just get ready for the next one.
Never say never, I guess.
That probably is the better idea, but
unfortunately, taps too quick in the draw, finds a shot, and
we'll see.
Could take round number 5. And that's again, the thing I'm going to sound like a broken record here, and I'm sorry about this one, chat. But Matchco have very clearly looked at this, going, we're going to play Cafe against Asparagus. Why not let it in? Because we know this team's got a pretty limited map pool. Again,
I'm not going to go wacko for Mako.
Qualifier. Asparagus' core roster minus.
I just don't have enough time. I'm going to our boot camp tomorrow, so I have to pack and make sure my laundry and all my stuff is sorted today. And if I'm streaming all day, I won't have time to do that, and I don't want to forget anything.
And they played perfectly to that strategy. Asparagus are playing perfectly to their game plan as well, but it's all well and good if you play to your structure. But when your opponents know what you're going to do, when you're going to do it, how you're going to do it, that gets a little bit dicey for them. But they're not out of this fight yet. Last round.
Yeah, in Toronto.
Defensive match go, and this map does tend to be.
Do I think Fnatic should drop the roster for Asparagus? No.
Well, not shocking.
I think they need a new team, but I don't know about Asparagus being that team.
The last time the lack of a smoke was one of the problems that led to them not winning that round. This time, once you get the information of a player on the hatch drop, then you throw out those canisters. That forces the attackers into sight, or to vault out through that rotate, and gives the kill away. No shield being brought this time by Asparagus, so they don't have the Osa, they don't have the Monte, they've not brought themselves a blitz. But when you see Rexon in play, using Ram, it tells you the whole plan for Asparagus this time is achieve vertical control. Open up all of the walls in towards sight. You're going to use Packbull's Twitch to get rid of any of those Goyo canisters that are in the way. I feel like, Whippet, this will be a more traditional get control of vertical and push in through bakery style push.
Yeah, they're going to do that more traditional top down clear, get that control via verticality, but I still think the execution is going to arrive via that hatch drop. That does leave a little bit of question how they're going to deal with the player in VIP. If they're going to go for this traditional top down clear, they're not going to have that pressure in VIP early, forcing maybe a late rotation to do so, because I think bakery just isn't really in the intention here. But again, I could be completely wrong. My job is to talk, and I'm not an analyst desk for a reason.
You love the analyst desk. Any chance to get to talk more about Siege, and you're all about it.
It's my one thing I can talk about, Gibby.
Yeah, that is true. But you look at what's been done with it now. They've created the verticality on the code check. That means that they can't play inside that position anymore, or at least rotate out of it. What you're doing at this moment in time is creating a cutoff points for the defenders. You're saying, it's okay. You can play where you're playing, but you're not getting from position A to B anymore. Cutting off lines of sight is vitally important. And, well, it's also important to remember that there are C4s in play. Akwe will manage to get one, and down goes Daya. And Whippet, what did Daya have as that utility for Buck?
It was a can opener, the only source of hard destruction available to this team. So, whether they like it or not, they're going to be forced to pivot in towards take via double door or via bakery. So, this is going to be a quick snap decision made by Hungry, I'm assuming is the IGL of this team. They're going to make this call to dive straight in to get control of prep and VIP. Now, The difficulty is they don't know about code check. They haven't droned it yet. The verticality might mean there's a cut-off there, so they can hold that player. They don't know someone's playing close to this prep door. Deimos takes a lot of damage, and Akwi will get that confirmation. TCSG rips him asunder, and now with 50 seconds left to go, it might just be an exercise in futility. Knocking on the door of Bakery, a little bit of damage done yet again. Lolo not too keen to step into those flames. His toes might get burnt to a crisp. He will be spotted by those bees. The verticality locks him down, but sitting still is how you win this. That flashbang doesn't displace him, so he's now a dilemma. You can't move him. You should win the round off this one. Time is the enemy, and that's going to be Akwi and Hungry trading off as Lolo's going to be caught as well in that crossfire. Teb locks out for Packbull, and it means it's down to 20 seconds. It's all done Rexon, who, since the rehost, has been a little bit quiet. He's been exceptional so far. 20 seconds, give me, it's done. It's going to be a 40 split here for Matchco.
Yeah, great defending half here. There's the damage being dealt by the barbed wire. Information has been garnered.
Well, I just think that the EU teams are, there's not a lot of depth in EU, I feel like.
With a 4-2 half. But not every kill in a game of Siege is equal. Taking down the buck and limiting the ability to create any form of openings whatsoever was the key kill. And they got it for free. A C4 from below. Probably the best value you can possibly get on any singular kill. So Whip It, say the line. What do you typically say about round 7 going into a matchup like this?
Round number 7 is often, in my eyes, the most important round in a matchup. It's that transition between attack and defense, and it's that
you never understood why T1 EU teams never gave a shot to. Do they speak English? Maybe it's because they're Italian.
What will we see from their defense? Now, they don't really have as much of a unique identity on this side. They play it as we've been told from various sources around. They kind of play this off vibes a little bit. So can their vibes be strong enough to beat the Italian brute force of Matchco so far? Deimos a massive factor on this map as well. A repick from Lolo on towards that Blackbeard, not opting to bring out that buck. Flores
they were tier 1
combination with that ace.
What team were they?
From this team, and way more to the script you'd expect on a map like Cafe.
Yeah, and as we pointed out at the top of the show,
they speak English, and more than half these guys got a chance. So I'm being given false information.
Anything in life are passionate, and they are passionate about their Siege, and they want.
I did see Cruelty beat Mr. B's team. Thankfully, I didn't stay up to watch that because I saw it won 3 maps as well. That would have been miserable.
During our COVID era, they actually eliminated G2 during the group stage of that event. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Why is it that you've like this encyclopedic knowledge of every G2 loss in history?
Gibson, as a former G2 fan, I remember them as former. Very key word there. I'm a liquid all the way. Famous liquid. They're winning the Invitational this year.
Whatever copium you have, I'm a fan of it.
I know you're on the same copium as me, Gibby. I know it.
We don't tell fans we're both fans of Liquid, okay? But Whip It, this is the most important round, as you always say, because if you're the attacking team now, you've got the chance to extend to a 3-round lead. If you're the defenders, it's the first step back to parity. Top floor being set up to defend here, as we tend to see. We're seeing Rotero drones being utilized to not necessarily get rid of utility, but in fact to clear those little bars, those cocktail bars, to make sure that defenders can't hide behind them, to make these fights a little bit more winnable, to make the defenders' positioning that little bit more predictable as we get further into the round. But look at the utility game, but only 3 drones left. Make it 2, as another one is going to get captured by Hungry. It is a heavy intel game being played by Asparagus to kick things off.
Packbull, while he's in a very strong position, he can be vulnerable from those piano windows, but to keep a barriers make him nice and safe for the time being. He will have to step himself up towards that mute jammer to make himself a little bit safer from that Deimos track. Dora will find the opening. Rexon's been slain.
That must have been close.
Out towards piano, and Packbull makes the right decision to try and pivot away from holding Humidor, realizing that his cover is essentially gone as they will find one trade back as Teb's now been neutralized. Your Capitao is off the board, and look at Akwi. Very wounded at this stage. Around 5 HP left of the name, drops in. Scopus has been tracked by Deimos at this point, and Packbull should be able to find a freebie. Oh no. Trying to find those shots, landing in a hurricane. Unfortunately, nothing does so. Daya, though, gets one on Gemini and shuts that pressure down from White. A great defensive start from Asparagus at this stage, as all of Matchco are fighting for top floor control, but the site is down below.
Almost all of Matchco hanging on to dear life,
what
as well
the
as you
fuck?
look at the HP bars. Daya will remove one of them. Lolo now going for the repeak, and that player will fall.
What the hell was that?
And it's a force through.
That was the worst attack I've ever seen.
Daya is there to pick up the kill. And it's exactly what you'd expect from the first round. After the side swap, the defending team will take it, and they now find themselves 1 round away from parity.
So, I'm gonna say something that might be controversial here, Gibby.
Okay.
After that round, I think Matchco have banked very, very much on their defense being very strong. That looked very disjointed, very not to plan take from them. They had a clear vision of what they wanted to do. But again, we haven't seen Asparagus play significant strategic structure here on their defense. So again, we've been told they kind of play a little bit more on vibes in this defense. They like their structure on offense. They're not being as predictable. Matchco struggled with that one. Massive picks going for them. A lot of damage bought early as Asparagus were very aggressive in those opening engagements. That to me shows that this team are confident here. I think Matchco might be in a little bit of trouble because their prep work, which was fantastic on the opening half, doesn't work as well here. So keep an eye on that one. Now, I could be talking absolute waffle, and I probably am, but keep an eye on it.
You love a good waffle, but whip it. It's
Potato waffle or Belgian waffle? That's the real question.
Belgian.
Okay, I like that one from you.
In my opinion, why do I think none of the MKers guys really got a chance?
Asparagus.
Isn't that what we were just talking about?
On the ban phase, or on the defensive phase.
I think it seems like they're one of those teams where they're like better together than apart kind of thing.
1 round on defense in any game if you're starting on.
I think that's how it's pronounced.
That they plan on
Matchco.
winning the game in. Line up for Matchco. Dora playing the Hibana. You know, usually we like to say Hibana's great at clearing hatches. Not used as often on a map like this, on a site like this.
I can tell you why though.
Go on.
Mirror windows.
100%. Usually we see an Ash for that, but you get extra chances with the Hibana.
Here's the thing though, Gibby, right? Using an Ash is all well and good. It's kind of free utility, right? Your breaching charges on Ash aren't really the most effective from time to time at doing self-destruction. Well, they don't actually clear the mirror
Well,
windows,
I will say, like, unless the guy's just like ass or he has no idea what's going on, I will say, like, giving a guy one tournament for like a few weeks and then being like, yeah, it's not gonna work, that is like a rush to judgment. Now they could have just identified he doesn't fit with them, obviously, but I do feel like that was
thank you very much. Rexon's gonna jump out. He'll get his one,
like that's a pretty quick decision there. So he must have been horrible for them to do that.
All day long up until now. Teb getting that kill changes everything.
That does. Teb just walks in, gets that pick, and now you see Pac balls off the board. This is kind of scary. Now you've lost your Azami at this
No,
stage
Rice
so
played a whole stage and the major. All that Gemini guy or whatever, whoever it was, all he did was literally play EWC for G2, and then he got kicked.
Now Jay can
He didn't even qualify for it. That he just like played it.
Get extra information. Yellow ping going out, so they're seemingly cautious of something out towards Pillar right now. Proterra drone goes out. It will be charging out towards that mirror window. Nobody's home. We'll spot the extra person. That's going to probably trigger a drop down, but no, stay in that position, holding on as long as they can. They want to burn every second possible in this moment. And there's a drop down.
That's the right time to do it. Now, a minute left on the round, 3 versus 3. Jay, full HP, Die is the same. You've still got 2 C4s, which could have a big say in this round as well. It's just a case of when and how they're used. Remember, the verticality on this site is only from above. You cannot create any vert essentially from below unless you play in that little sliver of kitchen, but don't expect to see the C4 a little bit later on in the round.
Oh,
there's another drone. Why not? Let's just give your drones to Hungry. Why not? And look, he's straight on it. He's straight on the drone, putting it where he wants it. Now he can get the call as to when the push comes in from Eldor.
So Scopus gets detected. Jay, yeah, this is the right thing to do, or is it? Trying to get that position now. He can't be too close to a wall, so swaps those shells, and now you got free information of that shell lurking inside of things. They should likely predict that rotations happen at the stage, but top of your screen, 15 seconds. X-Kairos pellets begin to chew through that wall. They take a very long time, and look at this, perched up on those freezers, walking. This is going to be a freebie. You can't plot there. Hungry gets that job done as a nitro cell for insurance wanders on into mining, and it'll be Daya and Jay get that locked out. Asparagus have brought themselves.
This is looking like this is the match where I go take a break and get my shit packed.
No, you can say
that's what this is looking like. This is looking like a barn burner. This might be my packing stream.
2 rounds into the second half of the matchup, and it's going to get fun from this point on. I love the use of Mozzie from Hungry. I love the use of Scopus. It's really impressive how they're using. Yeah, Peter Bull does these type of things though. Like, come on, it's what he's all about. Like, he might not get the most kills, he might not dominate KD, But you know what Packbull gets is impact kills, right?
Just leave it running so you can watch without ads.
He plays for the badge.
Can I get in trouble for that if I just leave the stream on and I'm not here? I feel like I could get trouble.
Down and dying and not getting a kill, as long as the team wins the round.
If you're, listen, I guarantee my announcement of that I'm no longer.
I don't think you can like AFK stream.
When I was back in the day, Goga was a very similar player to that one. CCI plant, stick that defuse and win the round. It's been a long time since I said that one.
Weren't G2 good the last time they had a player who would put the case down for the badge at an invitational? Yeah, Blur, he got that case down for the badge.
Biblical run in Korea last stage. So I feel bad about that one. I'm sorry.
Why?
We'll see. I'm not sure I'm gonna do it yet.
No, that's mean. That's just mean.
I'm sorry, guys.
I want a formal apology on X for that one. But anyways, we get back into the round. A little bit of pressure on the windows at the early stage. You might not expect to get kills, but what you do is slow down the attack and you give those attackers something more to think about, a little bit more caution. And you've already used 30 seconds just by putting on that.
German streamers do it sometimes.
Look at the lineups again.
Yeah, I just don't know how long it'll take. Like, I don't know if it'll be
again on the Blackbeard. They know how they want to play
in an hour, or if it'll take an hour, 2 hours, 14 hours. Like, you never know. Maybe I get lost.
They've seen an opening for it. Lions guy goes out. And as is kind of par for tradition, no one does anything. Yeah, just get this guy. But that does help the Deimos, actually. If you get caught moving in that one, you're going to get identified, meaning Deimos gets another free death mark off you at this stage. Now, we don't know who's been identified by the offense of Matchco yet. So we do not know who's in danger of those death marks arriving down below. But anyone on a soft floor might find themselves a little bit scared. And that's going to be a drone detected. No! And escapes. Scampers away. Chase survives.
Opening pick for Aki.
Yeah. But down goes Daya, down goes the Mira, down, you know, didn't really get any kills off the back of that C4.
Get up and get down with the sickness. Get up and get down with the sickness.
Position now as they rotate over towards red and piano side. Maybe they see an opening pushing from this side of the map. Deimos will initiate that death mark, that 1 versus 1 mode. And, you know, both players will know where each other are once he eventually does. Look, he started the animation, right? I'm not going blind, or am I going insane in my old age?
Gibson? I don't know, because you might be going blind.
Both.
I'm also going.
Both.
I'm actually going blind, so who knows?
Well, a minute
I'm
to go.
casting in Braille, just to let you all know.
You did not just. There's Blackbeard having a look through the window, saying, "Hello, you can't shoot me. I can just be here and be an absolute annoyance in this position." And you can tell the voices. The voices are talking to Packbull right now. They're saying, "Come on, jump out. Teb gets a kill. Maybe you're going to have to get aggressive. He's in a bit of a final stand now. That'll be the Kiba barrier dealt with, and eventually he'll be removed."
What was Packbull's plan there?
Matchco all but assured that they're going to win this round. The biggest enemy, though, could be time. Dora
probably depends on their effort, like their aspect a lot, Jiggy. Because like if you play 4-3-84, Hollow is basically ACOG for a lot of people. Like it's pretty zoomed in.
On the player in planks, at least temporarily, as he steps into the mute jammer. And there's your freebie. There's the kid. Get away! Get out of there! Wrexham with the double. You don't need It's a 1v3. There's a couple of seconds left on the clock. Hungry, you got to stop the plank going down. 8, 7, 6. There's another kill. It's a 1 versus 2. He's got information. The C4's thrown. The C4's not going to go off though. Whip it. He's not going to get the kill. And now you're in a 1v2. That almost worked perfectly.
That could have been a perfect play. Deagle falling short. But Wrexham, but Hungry gets one more in the Lolo. Case is down. Verticality is an identified threat from this one, but the Ash is so far away. Might be able to tap on the Case for a brief moment. Looks to try and land long arm. Hungry knows that's his win condition. Do they see that position? The Roni's not great to brawl in these moments. Low magazine capacity. He's going to try and stick it, but unfortunately Teb's too quick on the draw.
That's a good job.
But Matchco by themselves around by the narrowest of margins there. Rexon, who's been very, very quiet in this half since that rehost, found a moment of magic, a freebie on the Dora. A great vault over White Stairs to find that Deimos. The Deagle comes out, but unfortunately couldn't find those shots, and that Deagle connects, and we see that Blackbeard go bye-bye. That could have been around for Asparagus, so Matchco get themselves a 5-4 advantage, but that was a very, very narrow margin indeed.
It was so close. Shooting that C4 was essentially what won that round in the end, but Whip it. Let's talk about the tune that Hungry was able to get out of Lolo. He had him dancing around the map with no clue where he was. The movement, he was a bit slippery as he was able to get that kill onto the BB and bathroom. But as much as it was a great
Why
play,
did
the
I already
end
answered
result
that?
is all that matters. And the end result is Matchco with a 5-4 lead going into round 10. Sights have changed once more. Vertical being created here by Asparagus. Mira being used to do so. This is why they banned the castle, because they wanted to bring the Mira. They wanted to create a maze on the top floor. This Mira in particular is one of my favorites, Whippet, because when you open up the wall...
Gibson Texas, we would call it.
The first time I seen this done was by Coolibura, by the way, of all people. But yeah,
Gibson Cast, friend of Coolibura.
Friend of Coolibura. But you open up the wall, the freezer wall, looking in. You create that angle on the side. You can get all the information on ticket counter. You get all the information inside of piano. What I would like to see though is the rotate that's been created become a walk-through one, so that you can actually swing it instead of peek from afar.
Out the window. Go on. Out you go. Go on. Jay, you want to do it. Do it, Jay. Do it. The voices, you can hear them. I think this is a very silly maneuver if he were to do it. Ah, he's gonna do it. Out he goes. Oh, don't do it. Don't do it. Do it. I want him to do it, Gibby. I know it's a bad idea for him to do it. But
the temptation to not speak there and just let you ramble on and on for 2 minutes about jumping out the window is so strong.
I do it.
I had to save you. I had to save you. 2 minutes to go in the round. We're a third of the way through. Drone economy, not the worst for Matchco. They lost 3 in the prep phase. They've got a little bit of drone work being done now as Gemini, Akwi, and Dora were all on drones trying to work out where the weak spots are, where the defenders are playing. Remember, droning a spot and finding it's empty is just as important as droning a spot and finding a player there, because it gives you the information that the space is clear. Threat of a vault out though. Like this phantom pressure that we speak about, by opening up that window from the inside, you freeze the attackers for a little bit while they wait for a player to jump out.
Is this Rexon guy supposed to be like a pro player soon? Is he like young or something, or no?
No one's walked into a Capcat trap yet for this one. Disappointing, we've seen a lot of traps. Not a lot of impact from those traps.
I think Mako have a better chance, Gotron, but I don't think either team will beat G2. He's 18 or 19.
The Habana with a clear intention of clearing these mirror windows. Oh, where's Dora? There's Dora. We found the Explorer. Nope. Oh, off on a wander down red stairs. Okay. And walks in Pixel. Why not? Go on. Go for it. This is very disjointed for Matchco. Very, very disjointed indeed. Packball walks on up, gets a freebie via the countertop.
I want to sign him. No, I was just curious why he hasn't gotten a chance on a team, because outside of the top teams in EU, they're all pretty shit, and he seems like he's pretty decent. So I'm surprised like why he hasn't gotten any chance. Is all of EU just like friendship teams or something?
Dora popping up as Rexon was followed by one onto Lolo. A difficult fight by that bar, and Teb, by a miracle, gets themselves back to level. But 20 seconds, Gibby.
He played T2 for a few years. Was he good in tier T2?
It took 2 minutes and 40 seconds to establish vertical control for the attacking team. They've still not got anybody in sight. There's still a couple of snakes. He finds the position on one. Teb and Dora with a 1 apiece, and it's a 3 versus 1. It's all down to Daya this time. The case is going down. You've got yourself a 1. Not again. We're not in the same scenario we were a little bit earlier. 1v2 post plant silhouettes. Off in the distance, here comes the kill from Daya. He catches Dora, exploring a little bit too far away from this position.
Explorer.
1 versus 1.
Oh,
he's in the corner.
he had the read there too.
Teb uses the audio
What's up, Trevi?
Being ripped to go for the swing and whip it. Teb had no choice. The second you hear that C4 being prepped, it's swing or die.
Who do you guys think is supposed to be the best player in this lobby for like pro league potential?
What a little bit of a savior around Teb and his compatriot in that moment find a way to save it. Gibby, that round should have
Robbie didn't get a chance in EU, and he's killing it in Falcons. Was Robbie
into top red, into cigar shop?
Was Robbie like good in tier 2 EU though? Like was he nasty in tier 2?
Little mistakes, but Asparagus were in great position to capitalize upon that. When they needed someone to step up, Teb and Dora were able to find massive picks to bring themselves back to that level playing field, and they just decided to dive in this site. That is a lot of bravery from
Robbie was known to be really good.
A lot of heart from the battle back against that, and rewarded with map point here on Cafe.
Why did he not get a chance? Are EU teams just stupid?
1 round away from winning map 1 in the best of 3 to get that matchup against G2 to qualify for SI. Who says there's not a lot on the line here? This could essentially be these teams' last games for a while, apart from the fact there might be Rumble next week, but the last chance to qualify for a Tier 1 international event. You know, it's the last event of the calendar year. Well, not calendar
the biggest
siege
event.
year.
Well, it was actually
Siege
the
year.
first event, technically speaking.
Do you class SI as the season opener or the season closer? That's
both.
the question.
It's like WrestleMania. It's kind of both. Ends it and starts it.
Okay. I'll back that
one. Pro wrestling fans out there, that one's for you.
Yeah. Okay. Moving on. 2 minutes and 30 seconds to go.
Wow,
Whip it.
That was cold.
Whip it. Looking at the lineups, vertical control will need to be garnered. That's why you've got Dora. That's why you're bringing Fuse to the fray. And I feel like getting the value out of that utility is so important for Dora. And as you can see, they're droning every inch of the map. 3 players actively
Rorik
to work out
was or
where their
is one of the best
presence
players in T2. What team is he
I'm
on?
impressed by Machko's droning game on these attacks.
Likewise. I mean, again, drone economy, a massive factor we always like to kind of harp on about a little bit, Gibby. It's very important for these teams to be able to control the kind of economy of that and be able to see what things are going on. Machko has done an exceptional job so far. Maybe not highlighted as much as we should have so far. Skeleton Key begins to open up those key crossfires. Now you're going to be very uncomfortable if you're playing kind of coach check. That verticality does lock you out, but no one's watching it right now. And for Machko, they're going through the motions. They're getting everything established so they can use it a little bit later on. Hatch inside of dining will be a focal point from them. You have 2 hard breach utilities to work with to get that established. If it isn't
Into the
already
academy.
Pressure. Just
He's
nothing
really
down
in the
below yet,
academy.
but Machko realizing that they can get this map done and dusted. And of course, this is Asparagus' map choice. So let's see if they can wrap this one up with a nice, safe round.
Is he Russian, K7?
Yeah, and they're doing
Isn't there
exactly
some guy who's some other guy who's Russian who I think he plays in like Men or something that's supposed to be nasty?
It's all about cutting off rotates, maybe getting a kill
Skipper?
or 2.
Is that guy
the
good?
Opportunity arises at this point, but as you can see by the silhouettes, nobody is playing inside of site itself. It's a more common feature that we see inside of Tier 1, and maybe something you could try if you've got a full 5 stack yourself. Not something to try in a
GK
solo
got
queue,
shit
though.
on in the
It can go
calls, though.
so wrong. But Dora's already in the hatch. He's gone deep. He's going to get the case down over by Coffee.
It goes down.
It does.
What?
Packball! That's naughty with that one. That's slippery from Packball. All the cover was there. He managed to get that case down. But now, Gibby, the massive dilemma is that case is in the
VP
middle
play
of
often with
nowhere.
Rorik.
What can you shut that down?
VP to me are a team where they won't ever drop somebody unless somebody decides they don't want to play anymore.
Goggles on. You can't win that one. Acqui does find a confirmation on towards Packball. This Shield and Warden combination is going to be dangerous. Jay will get Acqui in the mix of that chaos, and this round might just temp itself out into embers. The Warden shouldn't peek.
Like, I don't think that team
You have control 7 seconds. Lolo
makes any
does get one
changes
direction.
unless somebody
Days
just
of that
decides they want to
train, just
retire.
like that thing should peter out to an Asparagus map victory, Gibby. And you know what that means? Going into our scoreline, what does that mean, Gibby?
Well, it means that we're expecting
Their problems with
all
consistency have
rounds
more
in
to do with playing
regulation
online
to
than them, I
separate
think.
these sides. Also, remember, the Warden goggles stay on during executes, right?
I was very worried about the words that you were about to say, Gibson. But yes, the goggles stay on during plant.
Yeah. Timeout, by the way.
Yeah. Thumbs up.
Hybrid timeout. First hybrid timeout we've got to cast. Let's go.
So Gibson likes to always comment about the coaches of these teams when we get a timeout from them. We like a little, you know, of course, if you're an ITB fan, of course, sure, you're watching the Europe stream. You know, we like Kangaroo Kenny timeouts. They're pretty good. We like a Latam timeout. Pretty fun as well.
Twister timeouts are great. You use them early in the game to get things going. I also love a good ego timeout as well. I can't remember if it was call out or Kenny, but they said that
it was a.
They said if they're 6-0 up, if you're 6-0 up, you just use the timeout. You know, you may as well use it. You know, no point hanging on to it.
Tremendous use of that timeout from us there to waffle on about this, but from
I should have called a timeout up 6-0 against G2.
For them. Their priority going into this matchup when they have.
If I have one regret, it's not calling a timeout when we were up 6-0 on
They
G2.
need to win this map choice. To have Asparagus lose
If it was map 2, I would have done it, but it was map 1. If it was map 2, up 6-0, I would have done it.
So, Machko have to lock into this one. If you go to Consulate, you'd expect Machko to win their own map choice, and then going on a border, that could be a coin toss of whatever team gets them. You don't want to play as many maps as best of 3, own a best. So you don't want to play 3 maps. We have G2 heading on the grand final slot for you, and you don't really want to kind of show your hand on anything, because you never know what G2 might want to play map-wise. So Asparagus, as well need to win this. It's a map pick, and overtime might be calling from. But lineup-wise, Gibby, looking at anything interesting?
Not really. Asparagus, holding on to the fact they're going to bring a Mira on almost every single.
What would you tell them? I would
middle
just tell them to
four.
yell at G2.
The Valk will try to get
What,
lots of
just yell at
information
G2.
for the team, Fenrir, those F-Nats.
Just use this minute to roast
slowing down
G2.
attacks and getting up free kills when the attackers step into them. All in all,
good thing we cut away there. Hungary was struggling to get that Banshee down.
I didn't want to bring it up. Like,
I am going.
You didn't have to bring it up.
I did.
Come on.
Packball did go for a cheeky little one there. Just look out that window from top white stairs. Not going to get anything from that. No one spawned in that vicinity. But again, showing the intention to not really change that core philosophy. They still want to play aggressive. Still want
How much Marvel Rivals have I been playing? I've never played it.
So far. Very important round
I
for
downloaded it, but I haven't played it.
Of that Capital. Those fire darts are massive for clearing these key utility positions. And you think about this, they is likely going to play behind one of those two deployed mirror windows. What can you not do when you're caught off by a fire dart? Yeah, play behind that mirror window. So if they play a great little kind of
Based, well, truthfully, I'm not really a gamer.
Very difficult. Rexon in a nasty position now, and by that I mean not a good one. He's going to be.
I consider myself a competitor more than a gamer.
Expect to drop via red hatch very soon. Yeah, a lot of angles. This is not a fun space to be if you're a Zami. And trapped by Deimos. Get out of there. Good choice.
Yeah, get to Pixel. They can't hurt you in this position unless they move inside the building. No real, there is nades in the pocket of Aqui that we could see thrown this way, but I think the right decision has been made. Forfeit the position. You've still got
most of my time is like literally Rainbow Six Siege in terms of coaching. And then if I have any free time, I'll watch like some shows, or I'm a big film person. Like I like movies, so I like to watch the like Oscar contending movies or like some TV shows. But
post-plant situation, getting back on the drones, working out.
I don't really spend my free time playing games, since all I do for my job is, deal with games.
Hunting down that Azami position, and again, from Asparagus, I'm liking this from their structure. They still have pressure upstairs. They've opted to put Packball downstairs to threaten a potential flank up maybe red stairs or into pillar later on in this round, but Asparagus have done the classic. They are trading space for time. They're burning time away. They're going to burn utility away now that fire dart goes out. You look at the HP, no one's took damage from that, and no one's even been displaced.
I have watched Nosferatu.
Gets over aggressive. A great read from Lola to try and react, and Rexon caught within the fire and flame. But
is it worth? I thought it was weird. Like you can stylistically, you can like it's a good movie, but it's weird. It's definitely like some people will like it more than others for sure. I have not watched the season finale of Landman. I need to do that.
25 seconds and there's no rotate from that.
I actually need to do that today before I go to our boot camp. I'm leaving for our boot camp tomorrow all the way until SI, so I'm going to try to stream from there though, because we do have streamer capabilities, but we'll see. No promises. I'll try to do what I can though.
Another attacker goes DBNO. It's all down to Gemini. No case, no chance,
oh
no
no.
clue.
OT.
Gibson, for the very first time that we've had during these qualifiers, we get to say the fabled phrases, it's going all the way to overtime. Trademarked by Ace and Dez, of course, for that one. 12 rounds, not enough to get this one done. Asparagus fought this tooth and nail on the defense. Well, they have overtime defense going in this one. Matchco looked exceptional on their own defenses. They
no, I'm just not monetizing this part of the stream because it's EU. For NA, I won't be able to play music. I get more viewers for NA than EU, obviously.
So it is going to be a 3-round shootout.
Yeah, the YouTube VOD just won't be monetized for EU. But for it, I won't play music later when I come back for NA.
Matchco on the attack.
Because I usually get more viewers for NA as well.
In the previous round, and to be honest, they've played a lot of they've played 2 maps today already. They want to if they win this game, they need to win map number 1, and they really want to win map 2, because you don't want to go into G2 having played 5
So you're saying you
maps.
want to win the maps, Gibson?
Win them quickly, because you don't look. I was making a good point about how fatigue can become a factor, and you're just like, yeah. So what you're saying is teams want to win maps.
It's, Gibby, it's like I can't resist it. It's such an easy one to say. Right on this point, teams want to win the game. Yeah. But you're right, fatigue's gonna be a massive factor. Asparagus, they've got a marathon ahead of them today if they want to go to Boston. Who doesn't want to go to Boston?
I want to go to Boston, but I can't. Man. It's sad.
Yeah. Gibby wouldn't pay for my flight. Shocking.
Of course not. But, Whip It, this is the first round of overtime. The first chance to draw, you know, opening blood. The
NA, so just to be aware, so I think I'm going to hop off after this
you know, one of those Goyo canisters
and get my stuff ready for tomorrow. And then I'll either be back for the G2 final,
but there's not going to be one.
Or I will for sure be live at 5 Eastern for the NA finals.
And the fire's going to dissipate, and there's no one there to counter it. Look at this, right? And he escapes.
But I'll probably come back for G2. It depends.
He was dead. He was done.
How long it's taking me.
For him, and he escapes. His name was on RIP.ie already.
Now we've got Dora on Monty. First time we're seeing the shield operator get utilized here on Cafe. Red pings galore as the information about where these attackers are pushing from is being fed to the rest of the team. Packbull though wins the first encounter. Down goes the Capitao as that's the opening kill on the round. Teb has been a menace so far, 12 and 5.
Beautiful.
The C4 from Daya adds another one. It's a 5v3. Monty's a little bit lost and alone now. He's got information. Oh, but what's he going to do?
Well, he has to rely on his teammate in this moment to try and get that Gumine out, chipping away damage. But Gibson, every second, just a massacre now.
Yeah, that C4 was crazy. I've never seen that.
Going to be able to get one. Gets one on the Lolo with that C4, leaving him Monty alone in a 1 versus 3. It's not Anaton, so you don't expect a miracle from this one. And shut down by Daya. Asparagus on the defense.
Asparagus running it back
here on Cafe, and for what feels like the very first time, they lead this series, Gibby, and they are on overtime match point on their map choice going into this. They are playing a marathon of a day, and this will be very important to get this one locked out here in overtime. They move to the offense side. They have a very unique style on, and I'd get ready to see a Grim, a Ying. You can't see a Sens because they've been banned, but get ready to say, there he is, Grim and Ying. We'll see what the third one is, but perfect. Look at his defense. Perfect from
What are people going to start doing instead of TikTok? Is it like YouTube Shorts or Instagram, you think? Marshall, thank you for the Prime, man. Appreciate it.
Ying and Grim.
And Ash. Let's not forget Ash there as well. But their Achilles heel
no, this is map 1.
Attacks have been the C4s from below. And lo and behold, there's 4 of them. Matchco have brought 4 C4s. You've got Valk, you've got Pulse, they'll
YouTube Shorts.
Information. This is going to be... You know the floor is lava that you played when you were a kid? Like, yeah, the floor is dangerous for Asparagus in this round, and it is so difficult to counter. You nearly need to go horizontal instead of trying to take control.
They're gonna rush, Gibby, aren't they? They're gonna
Serious
rush,
question. Where do you go to buy cheap business clothes from men? What do you consider cheap?
Where's we taking that damage from?
Don't talk about it.
No. How has that happened? No.
Nah, we're not talking about it.
No. Right. Chat. What happened there?
Not above 70.
Nothing. Anyways, Whip It.
Maybe like Banana Republic.
Jay will really
Banana Republic or Gap. I think you could probably get some like
where the Valcams are can slightly reduce the threat of the C4s below.
Close from.
The Pulse is going to be the real problem.
Macy's, yeah, Macy's or JCPenney as well.
Feed the tune of this attack to the defenders and let them know where to use the utility when possible. The Goyo canisters, vitally important as well. That's a bit free, being able to get that mute jammer from outside.
One of them was Suit Supply and one of them was Banana Republic glue.
Opportunity through that door a little bit more.
Banana Republic, I think, is probably above 70, but they have a lot of sales.
Drop onto these floors.
So you can get, like, you can usually find stuff under it with sales.
It's going to be a nightmare with these C4s.
Yeah, TJ Maxx, I don't know, it kind of is like luck of the draw at those stores, but like TJ Maxx and like Ross,
on that movement of a player who wouldn't barricade,
like those are discount stores. It kind of just, you just kind of have to go through and see if they have anything that you would like. It's kind of just like mix and match.
Great solution to it, but of course that requires you to look the right direction with that sensor. 4 drones burned away so far, so Asparagus is drone eco.
Yeah, like Marshalls. Banana Republic is just US. Not sure. Banana Republic is owned by Gap.
And buying a little bit more time for Matchco's defense to hold positions like Cocktail. The Candelas go out, but no one's there to push behind it, waiting for those Grim Bees to arrive in a position to be held from White Stairs. That platform's locked. locked out, but they opt to pivot away and try and go for a more traditional take. Rexon finds one, but a great trade from Lolo brings us back level, but Packball's there to get it done with the pistol. An advantage now sits with Asparagus. 1 minute left in this round.
Still 2 C4s in play. It's not been as bad for Asparagus as I thought it might potentially be. But the Pulse now, he's got the C4 out. He's going. This is the boom call. He is going to make a call of boom. Aqui will make things a little easier. Gets the kill.
I haven't shopped there in a long time, but I'm pretty sure like Abercrombie has changed their clothes. I don't know how expensive it is, but I think Abercrombie has stuff like that now too.
Is in the hands of Tab. The Italian stallion needs to get himself 3
Tab
kills
1v3 for the map.
5 seconds if he wants to win the game.
They were up 6-4, so this is a bit of a troll by them.
And Tab has got himself in the rattiest of rat positions.
This is winnable. That drone doesn't spot him out yet. Tab 12 and 5 so far. UMP in hand. And every second drains away is one more advantage for the side of the match go. 000 is a dangerous place to be. Tab swings out wide. Trades off his damage. He's so wounded. But the
Wild gonna run it back from down 4-6 to win 4 straight.
Take their map pick and they lead 1-0 in this series.
And they needed that. They take the first map in this game between the
I'm gonna hop off now just because I didn't realize they have like back to back to back to back to back to back. So I'm gonna hop off. I will be back either for the G2 finals or for the beginning of NA playoffs at 5 Eastern. So the latest will be 5 Eastern, but I might be back before then for the G2 finals. So I'll see you guys later for NA or for the G2 finals if you're interested in that. VOD will be live though.